Michael Pastanek going to make the pass. That gets through Marner. Michael Pastanek going to make the pass. That gets through Marner now. Gauthier for Killorn. Shot it. That's what Anaheim. That's what Anaheim. What Anaheim. Gauthier for Killorn. Finding Daniels. First, gives Minnesota the lead. And he definitely. Performance by Josh. Joshua Band.
The Jason Gregor Show. On Sports 1440.
Finding Daniels. One more to Nas Reed. Get it back to Edmonds for three. And the lead. Anthony Edwards gives Minnesota the lead.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, God. Joshua Band retains the one. What a performance by Joshua Band.
Well, a magnificent Monday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Sports 1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope you had a fantastic day. Be sure to put a hand on your head if you're going out and about, man, because it is windy. Windy. Things are blowing all over the place. Whew. Imagine what Sterling Stupé's looking like today. Holy cow. It is windy. Hope you're having or you had a good weekend. Good week coming up. If you're a sports fan, there's no shortage of things to watch and discuss right now. NHL, NBA playoffs continue on. You got the WHL. Well, that's off to a great start. Those of you who are watching that series between PA and Everett, tied at 1, two really good young defensemen, man. And both of them, DuPont and Rudolph, had big opening games 1 and 2. They split the first two in Everett, and now they are going to Prince Albert. Of course, the teams, lots of players heading over for the World Championships now, which started a little bit later on, but gives some players who maybe were a little bit banged up time to heal. Of course, Evan Bouchard, Nurse, going over there. Yes, Josh Szymanski. You have Matthias Ekholm. Isaac Howard will be playing for their respective countries. NHL playoffs have seen the Carolina Hurricanes do something no one else has ever done in the history of the NHL since 1987, because that's the first time we saw 4 rounds of best of 7s, but they're on to the conference final. They're 8-0. Pretty good. Colorado lost their first game of the playoffs on the weekend. Kirill the Thrill. Pretty big performance. Chipped in on their first 3 goals of the game, and they won 5-1. And tonight, big game again. If you're Minnesota, if you want to get back in the series, you got to find, you win tonight. Now it's a best of 3. You've evened it up, and you go from there. Meanwhile, Montreal and Buffalo, the Habs, huge win on home ice. How about Newhook? That guy just continues to show up and produce big time for the Canadians. Buffalo's power play. Oh, my goodness. It's not good. Not good at all. Anaheim and Vegas. It's been an odd series in the fact that Vegas will look dominant one game, and then Anaheim dominates them the next game. And so what's in store for the final 3 games in that series? It's locked up at 2. So we could have both Western Conference series, 2-2, going into best of 3s. I'd like to see it. Carolina's just sitting back, relaxing again. It's a perfect strategy. Why didn't they do this earlier? You want Freddie Anderson to go deep in the playoffs? Just get some more rest for your number 1 goaltender. And so far, it has worked very well for them. NBA playoffs, no real surprises. The Knicks are just killing it. 76ers just weren't competitive. You've got Detroit trying to take a 3-1 lead. Cleveland trying to continue that Homer series so far. And the Lakers, I would think it's all but done for them. They'll try to, they might push it to 5, but if you're the Thunder, you'll be like, good night, Irene. Meanwhile, the best series easily has been the Timberwolves and the Spurs, and got a little dirty last night. Wembanyama throwing elbows, and that was a blatant elbow. I get why he gets kicked out of the game, and you know what? Nothing wrong with it. Add a little animosity into it. It's kind of like the end of the Montreal-Buffalo game. I'm still not a huge fan of everybody keeping their gloves on. Either fight or don't. It's one or the other. Can't be half pregnant. I just don't like scrums or us. I think it's become a little bit of an issue in the NHL. Too much scrumming. Embellishing starting to get a little bit annoying with the back and to the left, right? What is it? There's a second spitter? Like, honestly. Hopefully that's something that the NHL addresses in the offseason. Because if you don't, it just continually gets worse. Stop it in its tracks. I know you have the fine system in place for embellishments, right? You get fined once, you get a warning, you get a warning, then the second time it's a fine, move it up, start calling more penalties on it. In the game, plus a fine, I'd be all for it. You don't need, it's hard enough to officiate. You got some guy, the stick comes up, it doesn't touch you, and your face goes back and your head's snapping back. Like, I'm sorry. Just not a fan of it myself. So a few other things before we get going, would like to mention was at my Aunt Teresa, a celebration of life today. She was 78 years of age when she passed away last Sunday. She had battled MS for 40 years. She was diagnosed in her 30s and was one of the toughest people I ever met. And dealing with MS she was a big reason why I did the MS bike tour for so many years, and learned lots about the disease from her. She had a line to me once when she said, I have MS, but MS doesn't have me. And because anybody out there who has a loved one who lived with MS, or you live with MS yourself, it's like, it's always there. It doesn't go away. And that's what I'm sure can be frustrating at times. And then when it hits you again, man, it can hit, the body gets a little bit stressed, and it can come with a vengeance. So I thought that she was somebody who handled it with a lot of poise and dignity and grace, and, loved her 2 kids and her grandkids. And despite having the pain and the suffering from it, you know what? Back when she was diagnosed with it in the 80s, originally they thought, well, if you have MS, don't do any sort of working out. And luckily she had a doctor who said, no. And they put a gym in their basement, and she was very active, and that really improved her quality of life. So to my Uncle Jim and Andreen and Carl, her kids, and all their grandkids, condolences. She was a lovely lady and inspired a lot, and helped us raise a lot of money for MS, for the MS bike tour. So I know that's coming up next month for lots of people who are riding in. If you're going to ride in it for the first time, prepare yourself. It's a lot of fun, a little bit more challenging than you think. And I hope you raise a lot of money to support a great cause. The green and gold continue on. Of course, training camp as it gets going. Well, it started on Sunday officially, and then today they had they're on the field for basically 3 hours. Now there's a little bit of rest in between, and then tomorrow same thing. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then you got Fan Day coming up. It's going to be in Spruce Grove, which is great. I remember being actually in Spruce Grove. They had training camp out there 1 year. It's a fantastic facility. It's great. There'll be tons of parking. So you got Fan Day coming up this weekend. Look forward to that. And then we got the first preseason game next Saturday. So what are we, the 23rd, so 12 days away, and get an opportunity to see the players and some of the battles in training camp for the Elks. Very much looking forward to it. I'm curious to kind of see what happens at the middle linebacker position. Like Mogensen, man, he I'll give him credit. Like he played really well last year when given the opportunity with injuries. So let's kind of see what he looks like this year. Also, the center position, that's going to be a battle. Two veterans in Beard and Corte. Who's going to win it? Then there's other battles, the two Williams at the halfback position, and we'll just kind of see where it goes throughout camp. The main thing is, Ed Hervey's talked about it many times. Mark Killam's talked about it many times. You want to stay healthy, get through camp, try to be as healthy as you can. That makes a big difference. And the green and gold, hey, we've talked about the orders and their need to have a better start next year. You look at the green and gold this season, they need a good start. They have the schedule where they play one game and then you got to bye. Edmonton's in Ottawa. Like, honestly, if you look at Ottawa's roster from last year and the changes they made this year, if you're Edmonton, like you say, if we're a playoff team, that to me is a game you got to win. And then they'll have their home opener against Montreal. Then they're in the road to Winnipeg. And then they're at BC. So 3 of their first 4 games, they don't have an easy schedule. 3 of their first 4 games are on the road. And ideally, they could be a better road team this season. So we'll touch on all of that. Also, I do want to get into it later this hour on, and I'm sure for ladies you have this, but I'm just, guys, sexes are different at times and what we value and what, we can be simpletons maybe as far as something satisfying that you didn't realize, like you kind of knew, but then you didn't realize until you did it again. You're like, God, this is like a chore, something that you do. And it's kind of a requirement, like you need to do it. Now, I'm not going to, it's not cleaning the gutters. Like, I'm sorry, I've cleaned the gutters. I don't get much satisfaction. That's just one of those jobs where you have to do it. I don't love doing it. It's good, great. Oh, look, the water flows, yippee. It doesn't give me the big sense of accomplishment. Cons, is there anything that you look forward to or that you have that's like I call it the blue job? Nothing wrong with that. There's blue job. There's still pink jobs. I have no problem with it. Doesn't mean that we can't do the pink jobs or the ladies can't do the blue jobs, but some of us just prefer to do one, and that's fine. Is there a job though that you have to do that gives you greater satisfaction than it probably should?
Well, I mean, I'm in charge of the hot tub maintenance. That's not really, I guess, I think that could be either job, but I handle it in our household.
Yeah, so you got to drain it once
So
a year,
drain
right?
it, clean it out, do that whole thing. But I will say, Gregor, over the weekend we cleaned up around the backyard.
Yeah.
And I might be developing a green thumb. Not necessarily plants, but like the previous owners did a really good job with the backyard, and I kind of feel like, and I'll take the blame, my wife was pregnant. I kind of let it slip. I kind of want to get it back to that, make it look nice in the backyard.
So you're talking like weeding, you're talking whippersnipping, edging.
Yeah, we got some an area where they had wood chips previously.
Yeah.
Went and bought some more of those to kind of get an idea of how much I might need. Did a little bit of that over the weekend.
You always need more wood chips than you think, I'll tell you that.
So I looked last night, I'm like, this could look good. So I think that would be a newfound one for me where I might start to take more pride in the backyard.
Right. Okay. Because I can tell you what mine was this. And so I got my son to help me for the first time. And I don't know, maybe you got to be a certain vintage to really get this, but cleaning the garage floor.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
telling you. Took everything off the floor. Everything's out. So, you're wheeling the garbage bags out. He's got his hockey net in there. Everything's off the ground. Right. And we have some shelves in there so the bikes hang up. But everything that's off the ground is off the ground. Put it all out. Plus, you can always clean up stuff. And then I sweep it all. And of course, I have the high pressure washer that I bought a few years ago. So that there is something to that. It's just it cleans it even better. But as it's clean, because you got mud from the tires, whatever, and it kind of stains the floor a little bit. Now, once you put a little elbow grease in it, but I'm telling you, when that baby was done, stand on, because we have a garage that's attached to our house, right? So you got a few steps coming, from the garage into the back entrance. You stand on the top of that entrance. God, I felt like this is like my king in the castle. I'm just looking down on the floor, and it is crystal clear. I even squeegeed it afterwards to because we have grates, so you can squeegee it into the grate. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, God, I don't know if I should have this much satisfaction, but it's pretty damn satisfying. And then I went around and did something else. And then I come back in the garage because I don't put any vehicles in. Like, nothing goes back in the garage until it's perfectly dry. That's just, come on, like, what, am I a heathen? Figure it out. And then again, when I walk back in, I'm just like, oh, look at this place. Like, now I want to be in the garage. And I don't know if, and I was never, I've had that, it's probably the last few years I've noticed. And maybe it's because I got the washer. And now you got the broom. And so I had my son in there. He's like, Dad, why are we doing this? I said, trust me. Right. So I made him have to sweep in certain areas with the water on, because you got some of the grime of the year. And I always sweep it a few times in the winter just to get, all the salt and crap that we have on the roads, right? So you don't want it clogging up everything. But even afterwards at 12, he didn't have the same satisfaction. He goes, Dad, why are you that excited about it? I'm like, trust me, son. There's just something about making the garage that clean. Because I know, hey, some people love cleaning the house. I don't love it. I do it, but I don't love it. Even you have a vacuum in the room, you look around the vacuum and you can see the lines in your carpet. Not as satisfying. I don't know why, but I will say the cleaning the garage for us. I'm just curious for our listeners, what's your thing that gives you an immense amount of satisfaction? Maybe more than you think it should, but it's still damn good. And cleaning the garage is it for me. So I'll tell you, I love it. I remember back when I lived by myself and cleaned the bathroom, it's kind of some satisfaction over, but it's usually because you clean it at the point because it was so disgusting. But I like that. Now, cleaning windows, cons, I've cleaned windows. Doesn't do it for me. I find it's a pain. I hate it. But cleaning the garage floor, now we're talking. I look forward to it. Got the even cleaned up and refurbished, did a little servicing on the pressure washer. So now it's good to go for another year. And changed all of the fire alarms in the house.
Okay.
All of a sudden one just started going off. I'm like, but I didn't know that the battery, because it obviously had battery backup. Right? Because our house is 10 years old now. And you're supposed to change your fire alarm because the the backup batteries after 10 years, it says like a warning sign, this isn't good, you should change it now. Now, I don't know if that's just a joke thing to get me to buy a new one or not, but I did it. And I'm far from an electrician. It's not that hard to do, but it's a little satisfying. You shut off the breaker, although I made the mistake. Because I'm like, well, how do I know for sure? So I'm like, well, I'll just shut off the pot lights. I'll get the breaker that has the pot lights in the same hallway. Somehow, my fire alarm wasn't connected to the same breaker as the pot lights. Got a little shock. Nothing major, just enough. So now I learned. And so I even put a little name tag on my breaker box to know exactly for the, why it's connected, that one to the other outlet. It makes no sense to me. Any electrician, did they screw up? I would think I got pot light, fire alarm, pot light. Shouldn't it be in the same thing? I'm no electrician, but that seems faulty electrician planning to not have it on the same breaker. I don't get it. So, hey guys, clean window screens from Tinker. Really? All right. Hey, I'm not going to judge here. Hey guys, when I mow my lawn, perfect lines in the lawn. Great feeling from Bird. You know what? I can relate to that. I get it. How many of you now mow your lawn you want to make it look like it's a fairway in the green? At the golf course. You know how it kind of goes at an angle, cons? Do you mow your lawn in a square or do you mow it in an angle across?
I don't have a lawn.
What?
Yeah. Backyard is a putting green and then it's all concrete and garden. In the front is little rock and then also artificial turf.
Ooh, look at you. I have the turf in the front, buddy. I love it.
I mean, I kind of wish, like, I think I prefer a lawn than what we have. I don't mind mowing the lawn. And if I did, I think I would put some, I'm trying to make it look like ballpark outfield potentially. Get the squares in it, kind of. But I don't have to deal with any of that. So,
all right.
I just leaf blow the artificial turf.
Okay. I like it.
What do you do?
I sweep it.
Yeah.
And then I have Elliot who installed it. He comes and he rolls it.
Oh, really?
Once a year. Oh, yeah. It's unreal. So, yeah, the turf is another one that I've sweep my turf. Not gonna lie, do it once a year. Cons. That's another one that's pretty satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Gets rid of all, because the wind comes up and last year, like I have a lot of mulch around our place. And so I used to go buy, like, you starts to get a little bit thin in some areas, right? It kind of breaks down over here. So go buy a few bags. I'm like, God, there's way too many bags here. And we changed the color of our mulch last fall. And so these guys, and trust me, they did not shortchange it anywhere. Like, it was so much. But the problem was it was too high in the front because it was going over where my curbs are. And now it blew onto my turf. So that was a make work project for myself. Didn't love it, but sweeping the lawn, it's not as satisfying as the garage, but it's close. Not gonna lie. It is it's pretty close. Hey guys, I'm with you at the garage floor. However, I do it about 6 times a year, and there's nothing better than doing it in the cold winter day and bringing home clean cars and parking in a clean garage for at least a few days. Brad, you're a new level of dedication. I will do it in the spring, and then I do it in the fall right before. And then in the wintertime, I'll usually do like a half one where I sweep it all again, but I don't wash it because I'm like, I'm going to wash it. And the next day, I'm going to bring my car in and it's going to be dirty again. So I don't do the wash like that. Good for you. But I'd feel annoyed. It's like, when you go to and you wash your car really nice and then it rains the next day. It's a real kick in the junk. When we come back, Kevin Woodley, we'll get back on Sports Talk. We've got a lot of texts, some interesting things. Hey, guys, no joke. Cleaning the bathroom. Greatest feeling ever. All right. Mike, we're not here to judge. I can understand it. I get it. Kevin Woodley will join us next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk. With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way. Calgary rules.
But when it comes to the best snack for 3-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhock Beef Jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhock Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC.
No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. And you will like us, I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
I'm Rick Showers from Noble RV, and you'll notice something different about our store compared to the new RV stores. Our lot is full, bursting at the seams with quality used RVs for you to see. The new RV stores, well, their stuff is trickling in. For the most part, they're taking orders for trailers and motorhomes to be delivered at some future date.
At Noble, you can take yours home right away. Right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. Every RV on our lot is ready to go. Bring your truck and you can take it home with you. You could be enjoying the great outdoors this weekend if you want. And because every RV on our lot is one of a kind, it's worth it to take a look around. It's not like we have 20 of the exact same model.
That's what the new RV stores look like.
Not here, Bob. Every single one is different. The perfect used RV for your family is probably on our lot already. Why not pick it up before someone else does?
And that's Noble.
NobleRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes. And they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Monday afternoon. Of course, NHL playoffs continue on. We also have World Championship coming up around the corner. You got junior hockey going on into the league finals for the three leagues. And you got a lot of draft prep now that we know what the draft order is going to be. Also, we're going to look a little bit this week into some free agent positions. Kind of going to go like specific to one. We're not going to go, here's all the best free agents, because I don't find we ever really get in depth enough. So we're going to look at that as well. But first, we are going to welcome back to the show our regular Monday guest. Kevin Woodley joins us, our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Ice Sports Center and the legend Gene Simmons. In town. Tickets on sale now. They're going fast for a November show, so plan ahead. You want to see Gene in person live, and you know what? Any concert I've been to in a smaller venue, I find is better. It's a little bit more personal. It's more quaint. That's what we'll get at Silent Ice Center. So get your tickets. It's Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine, NHL.com. Joins us. Woodley, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. Once met Gene Simmons. Was staying at a hotel with my family in Hong Kong, and he was staying there. I had no idea what he was doing there, but it was a very brief meeting. But yeah, it was one of the oddest, like, I'm on this side of the world, the last person you expect to run into.
Really? Did you get your picture taken?
I did not. I was not. I'm not one of those guys.
Me neither. Yeah, I don't really. I think I've got one picture of somebody as with Gretzky.
I got one regret on that one, Jason. I got to say, I was trying to be a good girl dad, and let's be honest, I'm a fan myself as well. But took my daughter to the Taylor Swift concert, the Eras Tour in Seattle, a number of years back, sort of its first run through North America, and somehow through one of the ticket brokers, our tickets didn't come through, and we'd driven all the way down there, and it was one of those upgrade or money back, and we're like, well, we're down here, upgrade. We ended up on the floor. And 10 rows behind us was one of the VIP boxes. And sitting there with his family, his daughter, watching the concert was Eddie Vedder. And full out, Taylor Swift t-shirt, black sequin sport coat, and a sequin black cap. And I was like, my daughter's like, it's Taylor Swift. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Eddie Vedder. That was one of the few moments where she's like, you should have gone, we were literally 15, 20 feet away. She's like, you should have gone and asked for a picture. So I regret that one because it was a pretty cool moment.
That is awesome. She's like, who's Eddie Vedder? You probably had to give her a little bit of a background, or did she know who he was?
No, she didn't. She didn't right away, but she did know Pearl Jam. She didn't know he was the lead singer, but once I said Pearl Jam, she had that. So she's not, which was good. We might have had some issues there.
Yeah. I love it. Want to get into, because there's lots of talk about, hey, Dobush is playing great. And a lot of people you got to give the young guys opportunity. And to a point, there's some truth there. Now, I know he's deemed a rookie, but he did play 3 playoff games last year, and he played 16 games in the regular season, but he's still considered a rookie by the rules of it. But he's not a rookie to that experience per se. But what have you seen maybe in Dobush from last year to this year that's allowed him to play as well as he has right now?
Okay, so a couple things. Everybody sees the quotes, everybody sees the personality, everybody sees the emotion. And, we've talked a little bit about this with some other guys around the league about, the personality coming out and it being important for teams to not try and stick all goalies in that stoic, quiet, don't talk to me box. Yeah. Because there's a lot of guys that go through their career trying to be that, and they're not actually being who they are. And it's like trying to live a double life while also dealing with the pressure of playing pro sports. We need to recognize these guys need to sort of be true to who they are. And so that is Dobush doing that. At the same time, he's learned how to compartmentalize it and channel it in the right direction. He works with Pete Fry, who's based out of here in Vancouver. Pete Fry, the goalie mindset guy. We've done a lot of work with him over at In Goal Magazine. Jason, I've been in the room, usually actually putting my head down, pretending that nobody can see me in a restaurant when Pete has taken some of these calls where he walks these NHL guys through their visualizations the night before a game. And it is they actually incorporated in an NHL Sense Arena, the virtual reality. You can actually go into the virtual reality headset and watch pucks come at you and visualize what he's talking about. It's really neat. And so it can almost sound a little bit hokey if you're unfamiliar, but it just gets these guys to the proper hype level. It gets them thinking about the game. And when we had Dobush on the In Goal Radio podcast last summer, for all the quirks and all the personality stuff that people glom onto, there's a real focus and there's a real maturity in terms of how he manages his craft. Not just heading back on the ice because every rookie wants to work hard as soon as the season ends, understanding that being a shooter tutor for a month isn't going to do him any good. So spending his time in the gym. But then at the end of every session in the gym in St. Louis, he made sure to go shoot pucks as a goalie. And he didn't just shoot pucks as a goalie. And we've seen his puck handling, how good it is. He visualized game scenarios and he shot pucks okay, boom, I do my eagle turn, boom, snap it off the boards. Okay, here's a backhand, here's a rim, really consciously walking himself through it. So there is a maturity there that I'm not sure everybody is aware of. Does his visualization, does his work without getting too caught up in it or losing himself in it. The other thing that changed with him, you see how big he is. You see how athletic he is. And you've seen it moments within this series or within these playoffs. I think 5 minutes into the first game, Eric Chernak, wide open in the middle of the ice, and he comes shooting out of his crease, right? Makes a big save. Yeah. Got to be 2-3 feet outside. And everybody talks about how aggressive he is. Okay, fair. But if you watch how he plays in his crease, he moves around in a much more conservative position than he used to. And then once he makes that read, he will take a step out. He will come out at guys. But it's north-south and only in certain moments. What's changed for him is he's reined in his game. He's got that big frame of his inside the post way more than he used to. I can count on one hand the number of times where he's been caught outside of his post. We talk about aggression being a north-south thing above the crease. A lot of times as the game becomes increasingly east-west in the NHL, the aggression you need to rein is the East-West. And so he would get caught outside of his posts. We've seen it a few times where he'll slide into a save or push into a point shot and end up going too far left or right and having to scramble back, but way less than it used to be. There was a save in the first round where he had to dive back across with the paddle, and he got it. There was a moment in game 1 against Tampa Bay where he got caught outside of his post, but literally on one hand, the amount of times, and that used to be on one hand every game I could count them, right? So that's been a big change. And little aside here, the goalie coach change. They changed goalie coaches. People forget that outside of Montreal.
Yeah.
They made a significant change, and they promoted Marco Marciano from the American Hockey League in late January. And the numbers of both their goalies since then have gone kind of through the roof. And this is a break for Montreal because they almost lost him. They almost didn't have the chance to promote him. He was offered the Detroit job with the Red Wings. He got all the way to the final stage and was offered it last summer and turned Steve Yzerman down. And there's a lesson here on a number of fronts. One, for the Habs, recognized they were going to lose somebody who didn't want to leave because he's from Montreal, grew up there, had a great thing going in Laval. They bumped up his pay to make it worth his while to stay. 2, the Detroit Red Wings pay less in the National Hockey League or same in the National Hockey League as a handful of organizations do already in the American Hockey League for their goalie coach. There's a lesson here about devaluing the position and not getting top candidate. And I'm not saying that the Red Wings didn't get a good one in Michael Layton, but I am telling you he wasn't necessarily their first choice because other people turned it down. And, at a time when we all pay lip service to it being the most important position in sports, I continue to see teams nickel and dime the position, both at the director level and into the goalie coaching level. And if you're a team like, I don't know, the Edmonton Oilers that would like to do some investing in the position so that you can build a pipeline like the one that the Montreal Canadiens have, because don't forget, they don't just got Dobish, they got Fowler sitting there. Like they're going to have some decisions to make, and those are happy decisions to make if you're an NHL organization. Maybe there's a chance to poach some of these other teams that devalue the people that lead you to having depth charts like that. I look up the road in Calgary, and I wonder where how long the contracts are left up there as you watch Jordan Sigalet and Jason LaBarba, who I know just signed an extension, and Mackenzie Skapski. Like if you're looking to build out a development group in goaltending, it's not hard to poach guys because there's a lot that are really underpaid around the league.
Kevin Woodley from Ingo Magazine, NHL.com joins us. Now, speaking of Detroit, now this one might be a tough one because there's not a huge sample size at the NHL level, but Devin Levi, Sebastian Cossa. Which one do you like better?
Oh, you're talking Trey Augustine, because Devin Levi is obviously Buffalo Sabres. Yeah.
No, but I'm talking Devin Levi because they have three goalies, and Detroit has 3 goalies, right? I assume Trey Augustine's automatically going into the into that new organization. He's going to be their guy. So now they could just keep Cossa as their backup, no problem, right? And have Trey Augustine as their starter in the American League. I could see that easily being. But hypothetically, if you were going after Cossa or Levi, which one would you choose and why right now?
Ooh, I have not watched enough Sebastian Cossa to give you a really honest answer. I'm really biased towards Devin Levi.
Okay.
Just because I just think he's got a lot of it factors and just needs an opportunity. And there are some things in his game, and I'd look up the road to Calgary at the way Dustin Wolf, despite his size, has reined in. There's some aggression there that I'm not sure works in the National Hockey League, and you may have to make some changes there. I haven't watched enough Sebastian Cossa, but man, I'd be tempted there too. Here's the challenge if you're the Oilers. The challenge is you need a guy that can sort of win you games in the playoffs, right? And to your point, I guess if you get them in there for a year and an opportunity to show that they can not just survive but thrive in the National Hockey League and build, then maybe by the playoffs you're confident in that. But no matter what, it's going to be their first shot, right? To your point about Dobish, this isn't his first shot. He got a taste last year. I wouldn't default to the square footage thing, but given the results that Cossa has had and the way he's ascended, the way the game is changing, I would go Levi if I knew he was going to make those adjustments, and I would probably go Cossa if I thought there was a chance he wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, like the Dobish one was interesting because I do think being there for 3 games last year, it's not a small enough sample, but the pressure is the pressure, right? You're in there for 3 playoff games and you're feeling the pressure. You understand the pace. Oh my God, everything is up. I got to have, my senses got to be on higher alert for sure. So you look at a team like the Carolina Hurricanes, and I kind of said this jokingly off the top, Kev, that, Carolina's finally figured out for Freddie Anderson, just sweep the series, then he gets the rest in between, and now he'll be fine. No, he can play all 16 games if he gets a rest in between a 1 week rest in between every series. But in all seriousness, he's playing unreal. He's a penny UFA. They got Kochetkov, and they got Brandon Bussi under contract. What do you think they're going to do?
It's a great question. They could win a cup with Freddie Anderson and have to make a tough choice right away because the game, listen, and I've said this for a couple of years in a row, don't forget, he was nearly this good through the first 2 rounds last year. It's why when I was asked to do my NHL.com previews, there were a lot of tough decisions to make in terms of picking a starter to do do all the breakdown work on. And I did get one wrong, Minnesota Wild. I thought they would go towards the more experienced Gustafsson, and they went with Wallstedt. And I had to, after game 1, watch 100 goals of Jesper Wallstedt and start all over again. But I was confident when I picked Freddie Anderson to be the guy in Carolina, and a lot of it was based on he did this last year in the playoffs. And I know the regular season numbers were what they were, but as I've told you, .868 expected save percentage, lowest in the NHL this season. They're not making those mistakes in front of him. And he is just focused and dialed in. And the one point, I know we've talked about this, double overtime of game 2, where I saw fatigue in his game. And I still think there's a chance we get there. And this will be the challenge. Because now, if you need to go the other way, even for just a game in the conference finals, it's been 3 weeks since Brandon Bussi got into a game? So there's a lot of questions yet to be answered for the Carolina Hurricanes before this playoff series ends. I believe that. I think they're going to have to make that choice at some point because you don't sweep your way all the way through. And then the other part for next year, Kochetkov, all he does is post good numbers when he's healthy. I understand there's a personality there. I don't know 100% how they feel about that personality. They seem to be fine with everything. Brandon Bussi won, 31 games out of 40-some-odd starts for them this year. I don't know how you walk from that. Is it possible they just keep Freddie on a team? They're all on team-friendly contracts. They just keep Freddie roll 3? That's possible. That's entirely possible if he's comfortable there. I don't think he's looking to move. Honestly, Jason, I think how this season ends might dictate it. Can you keep rolling this out just being hey, we know how good this guy can be if we keep him rested and healthy? And for how many years do you keep trying to walk that? I think if you win a cup, it's easy to keep going. If you get to a Stanley Cup final, maybe even, and just run into Colorado and don't win a cup. But at the very least, I think they need to take a step with this, and getting through a conference final with him is the next step. Beyond that, though, my hunch would be, just because this is how they do business, Brandon Bussi, Pyotr Kochetkov. That would be what the tandem looks like next year, and Freddie Anderson becomes a free agent.
All right. And, especially if he wins, teams will be chasing that for sure.
Well, but you got to chase it with the knowledge that of expectations. And again, this goes 2 ways too, because I've talked about the low expected save percentage, right? For sure, because in the regular season, they don't give up quantity, but they give up quality. Even if you're a team that doesn't give up as much quality, if you spend time in your zone, that's different for him from a workload standpoint. They're almost an ideal team. As much as having an .868 expected is not ideal for any goaltender, it's not a workload. It's one and done rush chances. They don't spend time hemmed in their own zone where you got to push, stop, and just wear and tear and beat up your body. And so that's another thing you need to be conscious of your team. It's not just, hey, we'll get Freddie Anderson. We're only going to play him 35 games and then we're going to have him healthy in the playoffs. It's what it looks like workload-wise in each game during those 35.
Yeah. Lastly, did you see anything in the game on Saturday that would suggest that Minnesota saw something, or was it just one game on Wedgwood?
Well, I went on the ice this morning at 11 o'clock, got off, rushed home to do this hit. So I hadn't seen any updates, but I think it might be Blackwood tonight. No, I saw reports that it was going to be Mackenzie Blackwood.
Okay. So what do you make of that decision then?
Honestly, and they haven't talked about the decision because they're still playing coy with it. I think this is just, you had 2 guys all year.
Yeah.
I didn't look, and I probably should have, and I apologize for that. But I'm willing to bet that Scott Wedgwood never played this many games in a row during the regular season.
Yeah, fair. Totally.
And I know they had a break. I fully understand that. But it's just different. And this is the part of the tandem thing that I've talked about. Everyone was all over Minnesota when Gustafsson didn't play well in game 2. Mistake. They shouldn't have changed. And I think I even said it to you guys, I still didn't think it was a mistake, even though they lost. Because if they felt strongly enough that things had slipped, Wallstead had never played that much in a row.
Yeah.
Like giving guys a tandem all season. Yes, you get them rested in the playoffs. They haven't played as much. That's only part of the equation. They've also never played this many in a row. So expecting them to all of a sudden do it in the highest pressure environment. And in the case of Wallstead, in the high altitude of Denver, like if you thought you were losing degrees of his best and you were down to 80%, then starting Gustafsson was a twofold decision. One, you may have thought you'll get your best out of Jesper Wallstead in game 3 if he doesn't play in game 2. And the way he looked in game 3, I think that's a fair argument. And 2, if you thought there was a chance you were going to go to Gustafsson or if this was shifting on you and maybe Wallstead doesn't bounce back, the longer you wait, the harder it is to go to him. Back to that Bussy and Carolina decision. It's now been 2 full series and he hasn't seen a minute. So to me, I don't necessarily think it was a mistake because Wallstead looked so refreshed in game 3. And I think there might be a little bit of that with Mackenzie Blackwood taking over for Scott Wedgwood tonight. Because I didn't necessarily see anything different in Scott Wedgwood's game. Maybe some things in terms of Minnesota, like he battles and he scrambles as well as anyone, but there's a fatigue element that comes with that. And I thought Minnesota created a lot of those battles and won a lot of those. I mean, they won everything and they got everything in the slot. They won all the plays in terms of around the net and in the middle of the ice, in front of the net and in the low slot area. So maybe if you're Colorado, it's like, okay, let's show them some square footage, a big body back there rather than a guy that's reacting and battling and competing, but isn't necessarily just filling net like a Mackenzie Blackwood could. And if we don't get it, now we have Scott Wedgwood coming home, tied in the series, and in a better place physically and mentally after a game off. Now, let's flip that over to the Buffalo series. I wonder if the Sabres are thinking about the same thing with UPL and Alex Lyon. And the one thing I would caution there, because in the Colorado series, Minnesota scored, I think, 13 on Wedgwood and like 9 expected. Like he hasn't been at the same level he was against the Kings. Minnesota's a way more dynamic team, but he's underperforming relative to expected. Last night, the Montreal Canadiens scored 5 on Alex Lyon, and their expected was 5.64 by Clearsight Analytics. 16 high danger chances in that game. It was like an all-star game. The Sabres had 11, not taking anything away from Dobish. They had close to 4 goals expected, and he only gave up 2. But that's the one where I wonder a little bit. That might be a little riskier for them because if they go to that now and UPL isn't able to deliver, now you're going back to line facing elimination, going back to Buffalo. And to be honest with you, when I looked at that game and I watched it closely last night, and then when I saw the numbers this morning from Clearsight sort of confirm what I felt about the quality Montreal generated, I don't think Alex Lyon necessarily won that game. Even if you want to say or lost that game, Jakub Dobish won it. I think they just got outplayed and like you just can't give up 16 high danger chances in a Stanley Cup playoff game. And count on your goalie to bail him out. The fact he gave up 5 and was better than expected is remarkable. So that's one where maybe the same conversation exists and maybe it's happening. But if I was part of that conversation, I'd be a little more hesitant because I'm not seeing a slippage in his play. Like it was Wallstead in game 1, you could see some differences. At the end of the day, whether you see differences in Wedgwood or not, the results aren't the same. I'm not so sure with Lyon. The results were there last night. The defense just wasn't.
Kev, as always, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. Have yourself an awesome day.
Thanks, Jason.
It's Kevin Woodley from Ingo Magazine and NHL.com. Quick break. We'll return. We got lots of text here. And how about a playoff game being postponed? We'll discuss it next. Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
They are nice, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, There's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit JapaEquipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Smart, connected, community driven. Jason Gregor sets the standard for sports talk in Edmonton. Join the conversation on Sports 1440. Text Gregor 833-401-1440. Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
What's that? Is that actually spring? Like no snow squalls or bad weather tomorrow? It's actually spring? Well, GS Construction welcomes the warmer weather because that means we can really get to work. Now, it doesn't matter if there was bad weather. This is our time to shine. But we can't do it without good people to do that work. That's why GS Construction is hiring pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. If you want to join a team who loves their work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a Sport Performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.250. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Have tonight's Game 5 of the PWHL semifinal between Montreal and Minnesota has been postponed due to player illnesses. It's determined that these symptoms are not consistent with antivirus. Now, the league final doesn't begin until next Monday, so obviously they feel they've got time to play the game and not really impact anything elsewhere. But it is odd. I'd be curious when it's all said and done. You know how many players were ill and you know what it is. But quote, not. I think that's the key word. Not consistent with. Antivirus, would you read up on antivirus? And I know nowadays, you know, people just spread stuff, no pun intended, online that is completely incorrect. Like scientifically incorrect. So be careful what you read, boys and girls. Be careful what you read. We got a lot of texts. I do want to read this one. We were talking about things that get you fired up. Hey, Greg's, when we were trying to sell our old house, every time we had a showing, my wife said, "You clean your man cave bathroom." 8 years running after cleaning for a full year. Now I sit down to take a leak. Plus, it's better for your prostate. Hey, you know what? There is something to be said about if you're the one who has to clean it. You're like, man, I don't want to miss fire. Right? I'll say this. Anytime in the middle of the night, no chance do I stand up. A, I'm half asleep. I want to sit down. I'm just like, I find that I can stay half asleep in a comatose. Right? If the odd time you get up. But B, I have no idea if it helps the prostate. Any of our doctors can tell you if that's just a myth or if there's any truth to it. Not sure. But hey, when you're the one who has to clean it, I get it. You're like, dude, I miss fire here. Now I'm cleaning it all the time. Smart wife, smart guy, figure it out, right? Doesn't really matter. Anybody who has young boys can tell you it can be accuracy is a learned skill that isn't necessarily learned at a young age, if you know what I'm saying. So, see. Hey, guys, if the NHL had to postpone a game because players were sick, how would that work in the NHL? Well, no different. They'd postpone the game. I don't think it'd be any different. This is obviously unique. Something I can't recall, like outside of COVID, of course, occurring. So I'll need to hear more details when they come out on exactly what led to this decision. I'm sure the fact that the final is scheduled not to start until next Monday, that time is on their side. But if there was a similar situation, you had one team that was severely ailed with illness and it was game 7 and you knew that you had 6 or 8 days before the final starting, or even 5, teams would probably do it. Doesn't happen, but there you go.
Did see this at the Olympics with the women's tournament, right? Was going around for one of the groups. Canada was delayed a little bit. But, Gregor, don't you think, like, this isn't a one-day thing? Like, if this is the flu going around, whatever it is, like,
yeah,
well, might see some lethargic hockey when they get out there.
Well, that's why I'm curious to see, like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I thought it was smart them, so there's no rumors, not consistent with hantavirus. I think that's a key thing to put out there. Not, but it's due to player safety concerns related to illness. So it was announced less than 3 hours before the puck drop. So you just think about fans and everybody else that buys tickets. It's not ideal. Like, I hope it's significantly serious, because if it's not, it won't be a good look. So hopefully it is. Then they move on. It's not going to affect their long-term playoffs because the final starts next week. Lots more text line in 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Do you think the Oilers, what do you think they're going to do in goal? Do you feel they will move on from Connor Ingram because he's not under contract? Well, the Oilers have an advantage. They don't need to rush to a decision on Connor Ingram. No other team can talk to him until July 1st. So you don't have to rush into anything. You can do your analysis. You can crunch in all the numbers, watch all the video. You got lots of games to look at to know where he's at. Then you could look at other options and say, okay, is this one better? Is this guy better? Is that guy better? And you can come to, I think you can, with all the video now and the data to track it, right? Like, they break down the video team of the Oilers. You can break down every goal that this goal is at, or every save, because I would never just look at the goals. I would look at the saves too, right? How does he look on this one? What's this one? Right? And then Kevin Woodley's always talked about this. You got to find a goalie whose strengths or weaknesses, like if he's weak in an area where the Oilers have been weak at as a team defensively, that's not good. Hey, we're a really bad team off the rush. Oh, let's sign this free agent goalie who's bad off the rush. That would be terrible. So I look at the Oilers situation. So look at Carolina. We just talked about them. You have no idea what they're going to do with Brandon Bussey, Kochetkov, Freddie Anderson. Like, if I'm the GM of Carolina and someone calls me up, hey, you know what are you going to do? He's going to say, nothing until the season's over. So call me back then, because you don't know what happens. What if he's like, you know what? Guess what? I think that we're going to sign Freddie Anderson and we're going to trade Kochetkov. The guy's like, okay, well, hey, you know what? I'll take Kochetkov off your hands. You know, like we handshake agreement on a deal. Okay, great. And then what happens? In the Eastern Conference Final, Freddie Anderson gets hurt, blows his knee out. Now he's out for the year, but you've already shooken a hand on a deal. You can't make a trade, right? So you can't do that with Carolina. You can't really do anything with Montreal. You can't do anything with Buffalo. Those teams all have 3 goalies. They're all still playing. So until their season's over, there'll be no conversation. So that's why your analysis right now, I would assume for the Oilers, is to break down which goalies are we interested in, why. What's the video tell us? What does our scouts tell us? What does the data tell us? And put it all combined. You have time. Use it to your advantage if you're the Edmonton Oilers. So that's the way I look at it. So, hey, Greg's, I'm a massive gardening geek. Started a garden 5 years ago. Now every spring, it's so much work. It's gratifying. Takes a lot of time. Greater Man Jay. Well, see, look, Connor, man, and you guys can be the green thumbs together. Trust me, I grew up on a farm, and I never even minded really putting the work. Really was you had to work up, get the rototiller out and work up all the dirt and so on. Obviously we're on a farm, so we had a lot of homemade fertilizer, so that was never a problem. But I still had to go wheelbarrow it from the one pile and bring it back down to the garden, and that was fine. And then you plant the garden, and planting the garden was the most work. I found planting the garden was even harder than weeding the garden. But once that's done, now you just, you watch it, and then as it grows, oh, buddy, I challenge anyone. If you've never had a garden, get a garden. And not only the satisfaction of seeing it grow, but then getting to taste it all. Fresh carrots, fresh peas, fresh beets, fresh corn, potatoes, like it's unreal. I miss it. Any of my friends, when they invite us over and I know that they live they have their own veggies, I'm like, I'm in. Because, man, mulligan stew, any of you know what mulligan stew is? It's like a cream sauce, and you got all you put in peas and carrots and potatoes and turnips, anything else. You put in even beets the odd time. God, it's unreal. So good. So that's why the farmer's market, that's in the summertime, I'll shop at a farmer's market simply because, but even then, like if you get too big of a place, well, then how much pesticides, what you putting in it. So I always like the small garden. Go to the Hutterites cons. You ever got any food from the Hutterites?
No, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Dude. Yeah.
They do, like at a farmer's market, they show up?
Yeah, or you can just go to a lot of the Hutterite colonies and they sell it.
Okay.
And it is phenomenal. Yeah.
I can imagine, yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you,
Carrots out of the garden are elite.
Yeah, but you get some chickens from there. Ooh, so good. So good. Hey, guys, what about trying to pry Cooley out of Calgary? That one's from Hacksaw. Well, trades within your division are tough. Not impossible, tough. If I'm Calgary, I trade Cooley. What am I going to get for him, right? He's a backup goalie at this point. What are you going to get for him? You'd probably be better off to keep him because then you don't have to overplay Wolf. Right? Cooley was really good for them, and he's a really good guy in the room. There's lots of factors. He played well. So I'd never say never, but I'd probably be surprised if I'm Calgary because if you just look historically, like what are you going to get to trade Devin Cooley? Why would it be worthwhile? Unless some team wants to really overpay for him, I'm not sure it's worthwhile to make that trade. And would Edmonton be interested? Sure. And Cooley had really good numbers this past year, right? I think Woodley told us, of all the goalies played a minimum amount of games in the regular season, he had some of the best numbers in the entire league. It was great. And what did he start? I think he started like 25 games. In around that. I don't know the exact number off my head, but I'm pretty sure it's 25 or 6. 4 or 5 or 6, one of those three. And you know what? He had pretty good numbers. But could he take the 25 starts and become a 50-game starter and maintain the same numbers? I don't know. Maybe. You hope he could. But I just don't know if Edmonton's in a situation to add a what if, another question mark in goal. That would be my only point about the orders. And maybe you're going to have to do that, but not ideal. Quick break. We'll come back. We got lots more texts to get to. 833-401-1440. Update you on some thoughts on the green and gold with Declan Cougar training camp. We'll go around the league to look at some of the teams that we think will be competitive or not. But first, let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Not only do they specialize in selling great vehicles, they also give back to their community. Over $27 million donated to charity, given back for numerous community initiatives. GoAuto.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Just one game tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs as the Avs meet the Wild down in St. Paul. Bucks up just after 6. Avs lead that series 2-1. In the association, Pistons and Cavs at 6 o'clock. Detroit up 2-1 in that one. Then at 8:30, the Lakers trying to stay alive, taking on the Thunder, trailing 3-0. Major League Baseball, Jays, Rays from Toronto for a Pitch 507. We'll join that game in progress on our AM feed only. We've also got the Yankees and Orioles, Guardians, Angels, Mariners up against the Astros, while the Dodgers will host the San Francisco Giants. Tonight's game 5 between Montreal and Minnesota in the PWHL has been postponed to player safety concerns related to illness. The league final is scheduled to begin next week against Ottawa. Meanwhile, from the NFL, the Steelers signing kicker Chris Boswell to a 4-year, $28 million extension, which ties him as the highest-paid kicker in the league. And the LA Chargers bringing in former Browns tight end David Joko on a 1-year deal worth up to $8 million. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Ryan Payton from SiriusXM NHL. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
May brings more of what you're looking for at Wolf GMC Buick. The selection, never better. The savings up to $12,000 when you combine cash discounts on your new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickup. Up to $1,750 in cash rebates on remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Plus 0% financing up to 72 months on most models. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock Sierra 1500s.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats?
while I drop the heat.
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Prince payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Need equipment on the job fast? Japa Equipment Rentals in Atchison has you covered. Excavators, wheel loaders, compaction equipment, and more. Backed by expert service. Visit japamachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley on a Monday afternoon. Hope you're having a lovely day. We got lots and lots of texts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Of course, goaltending is a big hot topic. And we got this one. Hey, Gregor, are you surprised there's no announcements from the owners? No, I'm not. Mike? I guess my first question is why would there be? There's some people speculating about stuff, and I think speculating is the key word. Number two, the order is so you had the players last Monday and Tuesdays when they finalized all their meetings with the coach and GMs. So then that leaves you Wednesday to go over it, maybe Thursday. When would there be a decision on anything? And why would you need to sprint and rush to it? Right now, there's no other teams in the NHL. And I'm not one, I just want to make that abundantly clear. I'm not one who thinks the Edmonton Oilers need a new head coach. I personally wouldn't do it. Others, they said they would. That's fine. I wouldn't do it. But if you look at, so DJ Smith is an interim in LA. We haven't heard if they're getting a new coach. I sense they will be. It's my sense. And there's John Tortorella in Vegas. Right? That's it. And Tortorella right now, like if they win this round and go to the conference final, you might have a pretty good chance of staying in Vegas. So there's not like, oh my God, we got to sprint to that. I do think, and we haven't seen a lot of them, but there'll be some assistant coaching changes for sure. Right. And usually, and if you're going to do that, you can, those conversations can start if need be. But first of all, they got to make a decision for certain. Maybe they already have and just haven't announced it on Chris Knobloch. Like, I wouldn't do it. I don't necessarily see a big reason why you need to do it. I think there's frustration that gets in a lot of people's responses. Well, he didn't do this. Okay. But are you telling me he could never do that? He didn't hold guys as accountable this year as he did the year before. That's fair. Could he learn from that? I think he can. So they have to improve their penalty kill. How much of his system play? How much of his personnel? Probably a bit of both. So that has to improve. I think minute usage for players, another thing that I would look at. I would lower the minutes of McDavid. I don't need him playing 23. I know it was 22:59. It's 23 minutes. Okay. I can round up for 1 second. The legal roundup. 23 minutes. Too much. Go down at least a minute and a half. Maybe 2, give or take. Same with Draisaitl. Now that's going to open up some minutes. I think the biggest one is get some penalty killers, commit to those guys. Let's work on it. There are going to be some changes for sure. And we don't know, what trades are going to come to fruition, if any. There'll be lots of rumblings. I saw the one, Nurse for Cody Ceci. What? Like, come on. I don't really see the benefit for Edmonton to make that trade. And anybody knows me, it's funny. I remember in 2024, I got ripped on and it was like, oh yeah, Tana's way better than Cody Ceci. And I was like, are you sure? What is the one thing that Ceci had that Tanev didn't have? Tanev had a track record of being hurt. And what happened in the 24 playoffs? Cody Ceci scored in Game 7 against Vancouver, assisted in Game 7 against Florida, played great, key times, and was healthy the whole time. Chris Tanev, the Stars went to the third round. He played 6 games. And now, unfortunately for him, his career might be over. But when he's available, is he better? Sure. But when's that? So you always have to look at things, bigger picture. And to overpay what it would have cost for him to go from Calgary to Edmonton would have been way more, wouldn't have been worth it. But would I take Cody Ceci back now for Darnell Nurse just to free up the money? No, I wouldn't, for me. So do I think Darnell Nurse would waive to go there? He might. It's LA. It's a pretty nice place. He knows the GM and Ken Holland. So, and I think that's why people, lots of times when you see a lot of these are like, well, Ken Holland signed Darnell Nurse to a contract. Yeah, like 5 years ago in Edmonton in a summer where lots of D-men got signed. And it wasn't like at that point, players weren't flocking to Edmonton. They were great. Now, hey, you can always get free agents, just overpay for them. It's not hard. You can do it. Lots of teams have done it. Edmonton's won. But that's not a trade that would make much sense to me from an Edmonton perspective, just me. But I'm sure they will look at some Darnell Nurse ones. Now, keep in mind, he would have to agree to any sort of trade. So that's how I would see it. Hey, Greg's, if they're going to fire anybody, fire Bowman for his bad picks and signings. Never did like that guy. Even when he was in Chicago, he ruined the team from Al the bus driver. Well, ruined the team? He took over in 2010, right? They won a cup his first year that year. I took over in 2009. They won a cup. He didn't build a team, totally valid. But then he rebuilt the team that won in 13 and 15, retooled it. So I think that's pretty good. Now, at the end, when, hey, his biggest mistake was the Seabrook one. And keeping some of their guys, totally agree, that you kind of fall in love a little bit with the past, especially when the past won 3 cups in 6 years. It happens. Not saying it's right. I know how human emotion is. You give the people that gave you the best time of your career, you give them the benefit of the doubt. And that's what happens. So, all right, like go back and look at the Jesus trade itself and what a massive acquisition that was for that 2013 winning team. Yeah, of course you have other good players. Well, you had good players. Every GM in the league, for the most part, if they on a good team inherits good players, right? Breezeball inherited good players in Tampa. No one says he's a terrible GM because now they haven't won a playoff round in 4 years. So I think we always got to be realistic sometimes in, yes, you're GM, you come in, you're a coach and you come in on a team that has good players. Well, that's your job, is to hopefully keep them as good players. Right? I don't like the buts when if the goal is to win and you come in a team and you win 3 championships in 6 years, you did something right. Like, my God, you're going to start complaining about that? Give me a break. People who complain about that, I'm sorry, I don't think you've accomplished anything in your life, and you're just mad and angry. Well, I'm going to downplay everything. I never said he's the greatest GM of all time, but he was a GM who made decisions to help their team get back to win 2 more cups. That's a fact. You can't discount it. Factual stuff that happened. Full stop. Yes, he had good players. Not the only GM in the history of the league who had good players before he got there. Like it's pretty much standard for lots of teams, right? It's just how it goes. So Stan Bowman, now he's going to have to do that again, which is very hard. It's very difficult to do. Just because you did it once in a different market, in a different city, different players, different health, lots of things are different. Nothing's the same. That's why just because a coach won somewhere else doesn't guarantee he's going to win on your team. And historically, actually, in the NHL, the odds are very low. Because since Scotty Bowman did it, no one's done it. And in fact, Scotty Bowman's the only guy who's done it since 1955. To coach multiple teams to Stanley Cup final. So you can go out there and get a former Stanley Cup winning coach. Doesn't mean it's going to be current Stanley Cup winning coach. Different team, different players, different timing. What worked on that team, how he talked to the players, system they put in, different. it's not automatically going to work in the next place. And it doesn't even mean you're a bad coach. It's just hard to win. And it's clearly harder to win in two different places. For sure. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, Dale Talon built the team and drafted those players. Well, he drafted some of them leading up to it, as I just said, Cal. But he sure as hell didn't draft any after 2009. Right? What are we talking about here? He wasn't there anymore. So, yes, he built some of the guys, which is what I said. Doesn't mean that they didn't make other good decisions afterwards. Right? Like, I don't understand what's so hard about this. There's you got to make a lot of good acquisitions to get players to help your team. That's how it goes. So Bowman won. He won 3, and he won because he hired in 2009. So he won 4 and 6 years after he was hired. He had a pretty significant say. Signed some contract extensions in that time to players. Everybody really liked the Kane and Taves initial contracts, didn't they? Didn't love the 8-year ones afterwards, but sure liked the initial 6.5s after their entry-level deal. Those pretty good. So, lots of things to like. McGregor, didn't Talon sign the RFAs that had issue with? Well, he had the one, and then they got into it. Suppose he didn't get signed and he didn't send to the league in time. And who knows at the end of the day who made that error? We'll never probably 100% know, but Dale Talon took the bullet. Hey, there you go. And yeah, that wasn't ideal, but everybody makes mistakes. Are you guys expecting a GM to be perfect? Why are you scared to outline what they do well? Why do you only, and it's the same people only text in what the guy does wrong. Never did anything well. It's only what they do wrong, right? It's comical to me. Guess what? You want me to pick through your life? I bet you we can come up with a lot. I know lots of things I did wrong, but I've done a lot of things right too. No different than GMing. You win a cup, you've done some things right. Stop only focusing on what the guy did wrong. What are you guys now, evaluators of Evan Bouchard? You only focus on what he did wrong? Doesn't do anything right? Give me a break. It's terrible analysis. Stop it. Hey, Gregs, do you think Anaheim can beat Vegas? Yeah, why not? Like, just on a side note of mistakes, Jackson Lacombe, hell of a defenseman. Did you see the play made with a minute to go in a 4-3 game? Right after Vegas had made the game, Thomas Hertl finally scores first goal in 30 games. Makes it 4-3. And by the way, someone should watch video on what Vegas does with the extra attacker because there's no team better in the league. That's their 11th goal. 6-on-5 this year. It's pretty damn impressive. Anyway, Jackson Lacombe has been great in the playoff. 6 feet inside the blue line. Little soft pass across the ice, intercepted by Vegas. They get a great shot, and then they had some zone time and almost scored. Didn't go in the net. You don't see it on the highlight reel. But my God, if that was Evan Bouchard, people would be freaking out about it. Right? Mistakes happen for everybody. So if you only focus on what the player doesn't do, as a scout always said, you'll miss what they do well. So it's no different for anybody. Saying, oh, Stan Bowman is an average GM who won 3 cups. I guess if that is average, it's pretty good average to be. You can't take away that he won the cups. You could not like some of the moves he made for the Oilers. The Tristan Jarry trade's terrible. I would agree. But that's what's terrible. You don't downplay everything else. If the goal is to win and you win, anybody who, but it is the worst. He won 3 times. Now, the first one, he didn't build the whole team. Made a few small moves at the deadline. So he added something. But then the next 2, those are all his fingerprints. 100%. Just because some of the guys were already on the team makes it irrelevant. He still added other guys to win. Because no one player wins the cup for your team. You need multiple guys who need it. Multiple guys. 322 will return. We got Ryan Payton joining us. We got Joe Smith coming up a little bit later on. Can the Wild have another dominant game? Blackwood's going to start in goal tonight for the Avs. We had Kevin Woodley on earlier. He thinks that's a very good decision by them. So we'll get to that. Cam Tate, Speck, and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Also, we'll talk a little Thunder. Can they match the Hurricanes and sweep back-to-back start the NBA playoffs like the NHL Hurricanes did? We'll find out later on tonight. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry-out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
A lot of you love hockey season. But when it comes to construction season, you're not as excited unless you work for GS Construction. It's true. As one season is winding down, ours is winding up with all sorts of great projects to make the city we live in better. And our team is hiring. GS Construction is scouting for pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. So if you want to score a great job, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
From the first face-off, Sports 1440 is your home for hockey talk. With live coverage, expert analysis, and pre- and post-game shows, we bring you closer to the game. Tune in 24/7, only on Sports 1440, Edmonton's sports station.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Take up to 60% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $3.99 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
327. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show on a Monday afternoon. A little breezy out there today, man. Wind all over the place. So be careful. Now, maybe it's died down since we got in studio here at West Edmonton Mall. But when we came in, it was just a tad breezy, to say the least, outside. So give us an update if you feel that the wind has died down. That would be good. So there you go. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. It's time for Around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, and you can enjoy the McDonald's $5 McValue meals with options like sausage McMuffin, McDouble small meal for only $5 plus tax at McDonald's. And to discuss lots of things going on in the National Hockey League, Ryan Payton from Sirius XM joins us. And Ryan, my first one is, do you believe there's all the rumors, but do you actually think this is going to be the summer of trades? Is there going to be another summer of hype that leads to a whole lot of nothing?
Yeah, you know what, as fans, you want to see the trades. It's kind of like at the trade deadline, right? All the hype leading up to some big names being dealt, and then free agency hits and who's going to sign. You want to see that, but a lot of times it doesn't happen. I think there could be. And look, I'll say this right off the top of this segment with you. There could be a really big one happening in Toronto. There really could be at some point. And obviously, I'm sure that people know who I'm talking about. But I just think I think times can be changing now with the way that the cap is incrementally going up each season. And there's also these players as well, knowing that, okay, the window that they have with their respective teams, looking at the parity around the NHL, the window may not last as long as they had thought 5-10 years ago. So you're not going to go out and sign these massive deals with these clubs. Let's maybe sign 2, 3, 4 years max, and then take a look at the rest of the league and see where they're at and see where I'm at, see where my team is at. So with that being said, I think there could be some moves. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see a lot of shakeups going on in the NHL. But a lot of times when we say this, Jason, you know this, a lot of times nothing happens, right? But I do think for whatever reason or reasons, there could be some significant ones happening, and there could be a decent amount of them happening after July 1. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, there's not a lot of free agents, right? And, I keep hearing out of Vegas that Rasmus Anderson is signed. It just hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah.
And so he's going to stay there. So, the defense, you got a Radish. And I get, if I was a free agent now, heck, if I was a third line player and I was a free agent, I believe I owe it to myself just to walk into free agency, just to see
absolutely
what could happen, right? And say, hey, guys, I will listen. And it doesn't mean I have to take it, but I just want to know for my own well-being, was a real crazy deal out there? Because if it is, I'd at least want to consider it, talk to my wife and be like, hey,
sure,
what do you think? You got to make a quick decision. I understand how it works. We've talked to Rich Winter and other agents on the show about it. Like, it's, you come in and you got like 20 minutes or half an hour. You don't just get to lollygag. Like, I'd probably put the operating negotiating window back in place. I actually thought that was good.
Yeah.
But players didn't like it because it seemed like some teams would be like, oh, geez, maybe you don't have to go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I don't believe, Ryan, I don't know where you come out, but I'm not sold that there'll be tons of teams spending to $104 million.
No, I agree with you. And that's a great point you make. Just because the cap is going up doesn't mean you have to go all the way to the top. I totally get that. And also, too, if you look at it down the road, you may just wait a year, wait 2. And if you want to spend a little bit extra money on a certain free agent that's going to come at that point, well, then that's what you do. I think every player, they earned the right to test free agency. Even if 95% chance you're going to re-sign with the team that you're already with, just look at the door, open it, see what's out there, see the window. Again, as you said, talk to the family, because it doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen every single year. You don't just do that. All these guys aren't signing these 1-year contracts and then testing free agency. So there's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean you won't re-sign with the team that you're currently with. But you got to explore. And it always makes you feel good too, Jason. If there's someone out there that, is going to offer you this amount of money, hey, you know what? They really want me. Or if you got via trade, they're going to be willing to give up so-and-so in order for me. That's a mental thing. That gives you a boost. It's an ego boost. And all these athletes love it's true. There is something to that. And then you can go back to the team you're in and say, hey, here's what they're thinking of. What can you do for me? So always open to go to negotiating. If I was ever in that spot, I would always open the door to see. Always see.
Oh God, yeah, I could totally.
You'd be foolish not to.
Yeah, totally agree. You look at the 7 teams now remaining. Now that Philadelphia is out, what do you make of the Flyers season before we get to the final 7? And is it repeatable? Is it a great one-hit wonder? What do you think?
I'm gonna go with the one-hit wonder. They were, to me, the worst team out of all the teams of the 16 that made it in. And that's with all due respect to the Flyers and the organization. Yes, they got in. There's only 16 teams that do. I totally understand that. In the first round, I didn't have them getting by Pittsburgh, and they did. That's great. Got off to that 3-0 lead. That's fantastic. If you had a loss 4 in a row, doesn't happen very often, only 4 times in the league. But then you match up against Carolina. And yes, Carolina is one great hockey team, but they just didn't have it. They didn't have it. So whenever I think about a team who just made it in, I look at who they have on the roster, the coach, Rick Tocchet, great coach. I think he's a player's guy. There's nothing wrong with it. Dan Vladar did great in goal for Philly, and they have some pieces. But then I also think about, okay, what are the teams that just missed out? Are they closer to getting in than Philly is to remaining in? And I would say that, I think there's a couple teams that are closer to getting in than Philly remaining in. And even the ones that are in this year, Jason, in the Eastern Conference, that's what we're talking about. Certainly you would think that most will be back next season, not all, but most should be back in the final 8 by the time it's all done after game 82. It was fun though. It was good to see where Philly, and you get a taste of this, you have an opportunity to get in, and it's great. You win one round as well. Good on you. But then you go up against the train, which is the Carolina Hurricanes. They just look unstoppable right now. So I'd love to see them continue, but something tells me that this could be a one-off this year.
Okay. Ryan Payton joins us. The Carolina Hurricanes, is this the best team they've ever had, or is this the best path they've had through 2 rounds?
Yeah, I would say it'll be the best team they've ever had if they go on to win the Cup. They're one of these teams in I don't know how many years it's been. They have been a great 82-game season team. They've been amazing, and they've done it so quietly. Like, we don't talk about them. I don't know if you do. I don't talk about them as much. Or when we do talk about them, we don't talk about them for an extended amount of time. And that's no disrespect to them. They're a great team. They wear you down. They do all the things right. And right now, Freddie Anderson is playing on a different level. And let me just say this quickly about Freddie. I've said this from the get-go when he came into the league. When he is on top of his game and when he's healthy, he's not been very healthy, and that's been too bad. But when he is healthy and he's on the top, he is one of the best goalies in the NHL. Hands down, easy. I'd have him on any of the 32 teams without question when healthy. I'm going to say this. They haven't been tested. They won 8 in a row. You've had 2 sweeps. Okay. Whoever you face, Montreal or Buffalo, it's going to be a test. But based on how they're playing, I will say that this is probably a very great Cup-winning chance team right now that we've seen. And before, I don't know if I could have said that because other teams, I think, playoff-wise, have been better than Carolina has been, obviously so, because they haven't made it through and they've won the Cup. But there's something different about this team this year. I really do. And it's not going to be one of those clubs, too, that's going to go into round 3 and think, well, you haven't been tested through the first 2 rounds. How can you respond? It's okay. They're good enough to understand that we'll need to just continue our game and step it up if need be against a better team, because they haven't been tested at all in the first 2 rounds. But I love them. They, to me, right now, I know Buffalo's been playing great. So, too, is Montreal. But you got to have Carolina the favorite coming out of these right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that for certain. What about the Wild and the Avs? Wild, Kirill Kaprizov. I really felt Minnesota needed their top guys, especially their top forwards, to wake up in this series, because Nathan McKinnon's been wide awake for Colorado. And if you want to say Hughes and Makar are going to counter each other out, okay, I have time for that. But somebody had to at least match it, and for one game, Kirill Kaprizov did. Do you think the Wild, they're big guns, whether it's Boldy or Kaprizov? Because Boldy was unreal in round 1. He has done nothing yet in round 2.
No, and that's the thing with these great teams too, right? There's some rounds that one person carries the club offensively, then there's another one that does. And I mean, look what happened too last night with Montreal. Cole Caulfield finally got a goal. It's been ages since he did, and he had over 50 and he had 50 in the regular season. So it depends upon whatever series it is. But my thinking still is maintaining that Colorado, to me, is the strongest team by far going in of the 16. And yes, of course you can say that. They won the President's Trophy. Totally get it. But as good as Minnesota is, and yes, they knocked off Dallas, Colorado's just too good. And yet you have to have what you had in Game 3 for Minnesota to win and beat Colorado. You've got to have that in Game 4 tonight. You've got to have that hopefully in Game 5, 6, whatever game. If you win this series, that has to happen. But I don't think that's going to happen because Colorado is too good to let that happen again. But I like what Minnesota's done there. And you mentioned Quinn Hughes. The fact that we get to see this guy, look where he was. Look where he was to begin the season. Look where he is now. And to be able to see him not only at the Olympic level, but to see what he's doing and just to see the talent and how good this guy is. I mean, there's so many great defensemen in this game, Jason. And he's one of them. So I love watching the guy play. But yeah, I still don't think Minnesota has the horses to get by Colorado. They need everything to go right in the rest of the series like they did in Game 3. But I just think Colorado's too good to let that happen.
Ryan Payton joins us. Vegas, if they win the series, does that almost lock John Tortorella into an extension?
I think it has to. I'd be shocked to see if something else happens where he's not. First of all, shock is the right word when you had those two coaches let go at the end of the season, Patrick Roy in New York and Bruce Cassidy in Vegas. And I was like, why are they doing this so late in the campaign? Funny thing is with Vegas too, they've been so successful since they've been in the league, but they've had a bunch of coaches. You wouldn't think that after such success all the time, you go through so many different coaches, but I guess the format is if you win, it doesn't matter, you'll get kicked out. John Tortorella came in, and it wasn't like Vegas was a terrible team. The whole Pacific Division was not great all season. Everybody knows that. They followed it. But it was just that Vegas needed someone to say, okay, get back to what you do best. Put aside all the outside noise that you're listening to and understand that you're still a very, very good hockey team, and let's go. What he has done, I think, and what he does do, people like him or hate him. You do whatever you want. I've never had a direct contact with him, and I know that he's rubbed a lot of people and a lot of players the wrong way. But what he's done with Vegas, he's instilled that belief in just to relax in themselves and let the game come to them and let them play the game the right way, which is what they do. I think it would be crazy to think Torts would not be back, because how could you? I mean, even if Vegas doesn't, say they don't get by Anaheim, what a great series that is, by the way, and say they don't get by the next round and whatever I just don't think that on the little amount of time that the impact that he's had with Vegas, that you don't get him back. And he's not behind the bench for an extended amount of time in Vegas.
You mentioned Toronto off the top and maybe what they'll do in trades. You look at Vancouver and, here maybe it's like, I don't know why you would go to gold if you had Johnson on your team. That really doesn't make any sense to me. Right. Yeah. And that sounds like those are the two finalists. I would think it would be Johnson's job. The new GM in Nashville, and you look at the Preds and, they had a good little run there at the end of the year and it got close, but, it's not horseshoes and it's not hand grenades. Close doesn't count. Is Tampa Bay, not Tampa Bay, is Nashville, all those trade Romans for your Marchessault, other guys? Do you think this is the summer they get dealt, or is that just too unrealistic?
Yeah, didn't we? I remember when they got signed and how everyone thought about how incredible Nashville was. That was the offseason that they won. They won free agency. And then it was a terrible year after that. I think Nashville's not – it's not like they were far before. They had a bit of a one-off. I don't think they're that far. And yes, they've had some – I'm not going to blame anything on Barry Trotz. That's not what I'm saying. But I do think that sometimes you just got to step away, which is what happened. And there needs to be other opportunities for other people involved with that club. I don't see that happening. I did think, to be honest, that Stamkos more than likely would have been moved before the deadline. But he wanted to stay, and he did stay. And look, the guy puts up 40 goals still all the time. That's what you get with him. So I think the belief, and I talked to somebody too about a month or so ago toward the end of the season, but kind of what they thought about Nashville going forward and whatever. Yes, there's different things that they can do, but everyone believes still in the group, I think, within the room. And I think when you have that, it doesn't matter who leads you behind the bench, up in the press box, in the GM's room, chair, whatever it is, that's the key thing. So I don't think that anything major is going to happen in Nashville. I still think they have a pretty good unit and a pretty good team there and some of the stars. This was a better year for them. I think mentally as well, it was a better year for them. So, But again, I remember that offseason when Stammer and Marchessault and everyone just, so Nashville won the offseason, then look what happened after that. Amazing what a year can do, though, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. And you know what? Everybody, hey, they won the summer and they missed the playoffs both years in a row.
Yes.
So winning the summer does a whole lot of nothing. Lastly, Ryan, the LA Kings, there's really technically only one team that doesn't have a head coach, Tortorella, although I know he's a head coach till the end of the year. We'll see. But the Kings and DJ Smith, interim. He's not coming back, right? Like, they're going to get a new head coach.
I think so. I'm pretty close with someone who covers the Kings, and he told me that, now, just putting that aside for a second, that he won't come back. The impact that DJ Smith had on the team and on the room and on the roster in the locker room was really good. And for the short amount of time that he was behind the bench, a lot of players and basically the brass was quite impressed. But I don't think that is the direction, with all due respect to him, that they're going to go in. This is a change for them, right? Kopitar is gone. He's retired now from the league. And yes, they went up against the Colorado Avalanche in the first round. They were swept. Everybody expected that. Maybe give them one game. I had them winning in 5, but they were knocked out in 4. I think they need more of a coach, like, I don't know, throw even Bruce Cassidy's name out there, for example. I know he's been linked to a whole bunch of different things, but I just think they need somebody like that. And so I don't think DJ Smith is going to come back. I'm always rooting for, on a personal note, I'm rooting for guys that get the interim tag and who do a decent job, and it may not result in a playoff win, which it didn't with DJ Smith. But I think the impact he had on the room was pretty good enough to give him a consideration. So I'm always pulling for these interim guys. And I know that he's been around the game a very, very long time. But yeah, I'm also too a bit hesitant, and I'll wrap up quick, about, getting a name. A name coach has to be behind the bench, as I said, like Bruce Cassidy or Peter Laviolette, whoever else is out there. That's not necessarily a case, and that doesn't really necessarily make you a winner in the NHL, right? But with that being said, there is something sexy to it. There is something sexy to getting somebody who's been there before, who's done that, who's won, behind the bench. And right away you're thinking, okay, we do have some legitimacy now behind the bench. We're going to be in winds of change right now in LA, because there are winds of change happening. So I don't know. We'll see. Whoever it is, whether they've been there before or not, they have some work to do, like the rest of the Kings organization does.
Awesome stuff, Ryan. Appreciate your time.
Anytime. Thanks.
There you go. That's Ryan Payton from Sirius XM. And when you look at it, so coaches on their first NHL team right now: Jared Bednar, Rod Brindamore, Marty St. Louis. One of those guys already into the conference finals. Jared Bednar's team's up 2-1. Marty St. Louis' team is up 2-1. You look at, now, Lindy Ruff's a longtime coach, has coached many years, right? Experienced guy. So there's different ways to go about it. No question. Joel Gwenville in Anaheim obviously had success in Chicago. Had some success prior to that in St. Louis as well. Now, John Tortorella, been to a lot of different places. He's had, I think, a pretty good run of success. John Hines had been an NHL coach before. I'm not sure if he was a big flashy name, but obviously had some experience. So there's not one way. I would say it's kind of 50-50 right now as to which way is necessarily the best way. But I do have some numbers, and I got a text because I want to get into coaching, that why. And actually, you know what? No, because I got an article that's coming out tomorrow. So I'll save it for that, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Just because I think there's a real myth that comes into coaching. And actually have some data and actual results, not even data, just results to say, might not be the best way to go. So we'll discuss it next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Cantork has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5 plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
This is you.
Hi.
And your cornhole team needs money.
Yeah, we do need money.
Plus, you've tried every fundraiser under the sun.
No kidding, and no one's buying my Cuban salted chocolate.
Scrap the chocolate and fundraise for your team, club, or charity at On the Rocks. Here's the deal. We'll create custom tickets for your event, which includes no cover, no line, and beverage before 10 p.m. Then you sell your tickets and keep all the profits.
That sounds easy.
It is. Fundraisers at On the Rocks. Book, party, cash. OnTheRocksYEG.com.
When life unexpectedly changes, it can leave us feeling unbalanced, uncertain, and unsure of how to move forward. But you don't have to go through it alone. I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. Our team helps reestablish balance, guiding you through your divorce with compassion, clarity, and support. Fairway has helped more than 6,500 families across Canada find a path towards a peaceful, fair resolution. With 2 offices in Edmonton, we're here to make your journey easier. Discover your options at Fairway Divorce.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
PWHL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the puck drop special at Papa John's. A large 2-topping pizza and 8-piece wings for only $28.99 with promo code PUCKDROP at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
352. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. How are you doing? We're going to get Deck to get his microphone on here in a second because we're going to talk a little Elks, of course, training camp. For those, by the way, training camp is open daily for the fans. Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province, PlayAlberta.ca. And congratulations if it was you, the big winner, Max, on Friday night. Tomorrow night is $15 million. So get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca and check it out. The Jason Gregor Show odds boost specials for you. Tonight we got a little MLB, some NBA, and NHL. So whichever sport tickles your fancy, check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. Deck, the Elks on the field, of course. Interesting, there's no two-a-days early on in camp. They just have kind of one extended practice. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I don't know. Eddie had talked about it a little bit, like doing power practices, which instead of the traditional 2-a-days where you have like 4 hours in between where you go home, rest up, stretch, eat, whatever it is, they'll do like 45 minutes off. So you just get taped up, grab some lunch, whatever it is. It doesn't even look like they're doing that based on the schedule, just the extended practices, like you said. I don't love it from a football perspective. Like if I'm the player, I want to be able to kind of take some time off, reset the mind, reset the body. And the other thing about 2-a-days is like if you have a bad first practice, you can go rectify it, because sometimes like if a coach sees you have a bad first practice on a 2-a-day, then you come and have a good second one, like that'll stick in their mind. If you just have a terrible extended day of practice, like coach is going to be weighing on that a little bit more, and cuts happen quick, right? Like 3 days in between cuts. May 10th was the opening day of camp. By the end of tomorrow, we're going to see some cuts already. So if you just have one bad day worth of practice, like that'll stick with a coach. That's real.
Yeah, it's true. But if you have a bad Sunday, then you got to bounce back on Monday, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's funny because I talked to a few of the players when they found out they were doing this year. Most of the players like, this is awesome. They feel because getting warmed up twice, especially for vets, is a little bit harder, right?
Yep.
You get into the rhythm, and also they're going to go because they have the practice and they have a lot of film work after practice.
Yep.
So you kind of have the physical work, then the mental work, and then the next day you come out and you get a chance to show the coaches that you can pick up like Monday afternoon today. They're going to go over some things and then they work on it on the field tomorrow. And I think as a coach, because, football IQ, ability is one thing, understanding it might be more important, right? Especially like the Elks don't have a lot of openings, number one. Like there's going to be some for sure, but I think it's more so a lot of the players are fighting for backup positions. They're fighting for there's always going to be somebody that's a surprise starter. I don't know what position is. I wish I could to give you who I think it's going to be. I think the receiver position is probably the one that's the most captain obvious of where we're going to see maybe someone we don't expect to emerge as a starter. But I look at Edmonton and like Mark Killam talked about it on day one, how he feels the coaching staff is just way better prepared. And not that they were unprepared. They just, you don't know what you don't know until you're the head coach, until like JC Sherritt had been a DC at other levels, but not at the pro level. And the pro level is just way harder.
Oh, absolutely. Like I remember we'd Coach Killam on our Elks Nation podcast, and he said like people would come into his office and mention things, and he was like, I didn't even know I had to do that, right? So it's just having that year under your belt and being able to kind of have more of a just make things a little bit more seamless, goes leaps and bounds, not just for you as a coach, but it makes everything easier for the players as well. And you talk about the mental side of it. Like I talked about this with Eddie this morning, asking him, and obviously we know there's such an adage that sports are 90% mental, 10% physical, whatever it is. But he did make the point that the majority, like 99% of the time, the reason a guy will be cut in training camp is because of a mental mistake. Like physically, that's one thing, whatever. Like sometimes a guy's bigger than you, faster than you, stronger than you. That's not great, but you live with it. At this level, if you don't have the mentality, or if you can't keep up mentally with what's going on, that's going to be the reason you get lost. So like having that mental reset you talked about, just being able to have that football IQ and going through things with tape and stuff, it's leaps and bounds. But coaching staff, I'm really excited to see what they're going to look like this year, being a little bit more, obviously you talk about the year under the belt, but just a little bit more on the same page. Like I know Maximic and JC came in with their own playbooks last year, and I don't know how much more input Coach Killam's had this year, but there is something to be said for when you're a first-year coach and you have this idea of kind of cutting your teeth and being, the leader of the team and being the guy. You obviously rely on your coordinators bringing in their own playbooks and you trust them, but there is still something to be said for it's not always coming down to you what's on the field, and that can be tough. So yeah, a whole nother year, leaps and bounds.
Yeah, do you think their offense will be more aggressive in the play calling department?
I hope so. I hope things go a little bit more downfield. I hope they're not as reliant on Justin Rankin. Obviously, he's a really dynamic player, so it helps, and it's great to be able to lean on that. But like Cody has a legitimate problem throwing the ball downfield. Like we talk about why doesn't the ball go down the field more? Like Cody can't really throw more than 30 or 40 yards. He is kind of that 8 to 10 yard route guy. Just zing it in with accuracy. Let his receivers kind of get some yak yards. Now they need to do that as well. But I would love to see them take more shots. I think it's an offense personnel wise that can be built for it. Like I look at two guys, because we've talked about the wide receiver position here a little. I look at two guys in OJ Hilaire and Benjamin Victor, who I feel like were really underutilized last season with their skill sets. Like they kind of came in as, camp guys who got called up due to injury, whatever it may be. But those are two guys who can really stretch the field. They can really both go high point balls. Like they're two wideouts who you just say, hey, if you can go run 9 routes for us, if you can just go fly down the field, we'll find you the ball. So I would like to see them get used in that aspect a little bit more. Austin Mack as well. He's a guy who can go down the field, run his 7s and his 8s, like his flags and his posts, and really actually get some penetration into that secondary. He's great with his hips, can make safeties miss. So it's a combination of things, of course. But yes, I would absolutely like to see the playbook open up more a little bit for these receivers.
Well, and I'm very interested to see what Rick Campbell's influence will be. My understanding was that and I've yet to be tracked down who, but my understanding was the Elks last year, early on, the JC Sherritt did have somebody that he was talking to as an experienced head coach that helped him, kind of learn some things, who wasn't part of the staff. And, Rick Campbell's that guy. I think Rick Campbell's there. He's being a head coach, so he can help Killam in some of those. He's being a defensive coordinator. He's being a special teams coach. He's being a linebacker. Like he's being a DB coach. Like there's lots of different areas. And, Des Cotillier, that's the one guy on the coaching staff that I watch for to see how is he going to handle the special teams, because he's going to be the special teams coordinator. I know that for a fact. I was looking on their website. I don't think he has the official title, but he is their special teams coordinator this year, right? Younger guy. They built him up. They want to see. And I'll be interested to see kind of how he handles it. This is a big year for him to show he can do it.
It's tough too, because like your head coach was like he wasn't just a special teams coordinator. He was like the special teams coordinator for what felt like forever down in Calgary, and obviously had some very successful special teams with those clubs. So yeah, like being under a microscope like that, it's being a special teams coordinator is really tough, because special teams, like there's so much that goes into it. And some of these guys, like you'll find some of the most aggressive plays on special teams because it's a lot of guys just trying to like cut their teeth, be on a roster, play football. They're in and out, whether it be kickoff, kick return, punt return, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of times special teams can fly under the radar a little bit, because a lot of head coaches, like I said, like their former OCs, their former DCs, position coaches, whatever. Dez has a guy who was like a special teams coach and a Grey Cup winning coach 3 times over as a special teams head coach. So to be under that microscope will be really tough. And like I wonder, because I think about this a lot, like I wonder how much Coach Killam can't kind of help but dip his fingers into the special teams bag. Like it's kind of his baby a little bit. And like I said, like coaches, you'll see coaches take over play calling responsibilities for the offense, for the defense, whatever it is. That's, not that unusual. But to be a head coach and still kind of have such insight and impact on the special teams is pretty rare. But I wonder if it's something Coach Killam can shed as he focuses more on the head coach responsibilities.
Do you have a position that you're most interested to watch this week?
It's so boring because we've talked about it so much, but it really is the offensive line. Like that, I think, is where the battles are. And not just the battles, because you look at a guy like Carter O'Donnell, he's obviously, not only is he a day one starter, he's your best offensive lineman, but I want to see where he's going to play. You just made Coulterwood Manzi the highest paid non-quarterback in the CFL. Great article that came out earlier today, by the way. Where is he going to play? I know he likes to play guard. They've talked, possibly moving him out to one of those tackle spots if Carter O'Donnell is playing the guard. You have the center battle between David Beard and Mark Corte. I like both those guys a lot. I like David Beard. I like Mark Corte. I like them both personally. But these are two guys who are going to be, quite bluntly fighting for their careers right now. So that always makes an intense kind of battle. On the other side of the line, like the defensive line has so much depth. I'm more interested to see, and I don't know how much we'll get from this from camp, but I'm more interested to see how much we get a rotation, like a true rotation on the defensive line versus like that 70-30 split we kind of see sometimes. Obviously, you're going to see rotations in and out, but I'm curious as how much it's going to be 50-50 versus 70-30. We're leaning on the starters. So both those sides of the ball, I think, are the most obvious ones.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Newell does.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's lots of interest from him and where he gets in the rotation. Also, Robbie Smith being healthy this year. Because really last year was kind of a write-off for him.
Oh, it was a bad year.
Right? Let's call a spade a spade. And he, when he got healthy at times late in the year, you looked and you're just like, oh, okay, that's the guy you expected. So he's an interesting one for me for sure. And then what they'll do, I think Moguson, ultimately is probably going to be the fourth linebacker when they go in. And then maybe not, maybe he'll win the middle linebacker in position. But if not, I'm curious to see how they use them and what they do when they bring in and go with a 3-4 set. And because he is a better drop back cover guy.
Yeah, in those 34 sets you talk about, like he's definitely, so generally how that zone responsibility works is both those Macs will take a middle zone. But I think like it'd be so much more advantageous for them to have Nick in some sort of blitz package.
Yes, because he's the better blitzer by far.
And he gets downhill really well. Like Nick, I don't think Nick gets enough credit for how fast he is, because I think people think like he's a shorter, stockier guy, tackle monster, and he plays the Mac, which isn't one of the linebacking positions known for their speeds. But I don't think he gets credit for how fast he goes downhill. Like a lot of times people think of Max as someone who just kind of plugs the hole or the play meets them once it gets past the line of scrimmage and they make the tackle, which fair play, generally speaking, is true. But Nick is a guy who actually has a legitimate motor from a short step going downhill, getting into the backfield. So in those 34 sets you talked about, like I would actually take it a step further, Gregor. Like I think they should run a 34 as their base defense. I think their personnel suits it. Now, granted, the depth of the linebacker position could get a little short if there's some injuries there and you have a lot of depth at the defensive line, which makes it tough. But you just mentioned it with Brock in those sets when he has to drop into his zone with Nick going forward in blitz packages. Like I think the personnel calls for it. And we brought it up to JC when we had him on the podcast. He said it was going to be something they would think about, again, with the depth on the defensive line. Not sure how much they look at it, but definitely something to consider.
Quick break. When we return, we're going to hear from a little bit more in the NHL. Joe Smith will join us, and we will talk a little bit more about the Elks. We got a lot of texts coming in. People are, I think, interest is or curiosity about the Elks and what they could do this season is on the rise. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Not only can they fix get you new tires, which are great, but also with their digital vehicle report, they won't just tell you what their car needs. They will show you. FountainTire.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
Just one game tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Wild and Avs from St. Paul pucked up just after 6. Colorado leading 2-1 in the association. The Cavs trying to even up their series with the Pistons at 6. And at 8:30, it'll be the Lakers trying to stay alive as they trail the Thunder 3-0. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays in action tonight, hosting the Rays just after 5 o'clock. Kevin Gausman gets the call for Toronto. We'll have that one for you in progress on our AM feed only. Elsewhere, Yankees, Orioles, Guardians host the Angels, Diamondbacks in Texas, got the Astros and the Mariners, while the Giants head to LA to take on the Dodgers. Tonight's game 5 between Minnesota and Montreal. The PWHL has been postponed due to player safety concerns related to illness. The league final scheduled to begin next Monday against the Ottawa Charge. And from the NFL, Pittsburgh Steelers signing kicker Chris Boswell to a 4-year contract worth $28 million, while the LA Chargers bringing in former Browns tight end David Njoku on a 1-year deal worth up to $8 million. Coming up in Hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll get to the stat for the day. We'll ask 5 questions and look at the Minnesota Wild with Joe Smith of The Athletic. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
New at Papa John's. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry it. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The sun's out, the pavement's warm, and that low rumble of a Harley rolling by? Oh yeah, that's calling your name. This is riding season, and if you've been thinking about a new ride, Harley-Davidson of Edmonton has the one that'll get your heart pumping. With a huge selection of new and pre-owned bikes,
There's one waiting for you.
whether you're upgrading or just getting started. And while you're there, ask about test rides, because the only way to know is to ride it. For more details, visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980, or at hdedmonton.com.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. And yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Think a quality golf cart is out of your budget? Think again. At the Golf Cart People, we have a fantastic selection of fully inspected, pre-owned carts starting at just $4,500. Choose from gas, electric, or lithium-ion power to fit your lifestyle. And the best part, every used cart comes with a 1-year warranty for total peace of mind. Why wait? Get the cart you've always wanted today. Visit the Golf Cart People. Find out more at golfcartpeople.com.
The puck is passed up through the neutral zone, and here's a breakaway. He's coming in hot. He shoots it. Oh no, a broken stick.
When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Get ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. The Gene Simmons Band, performing your favorite classic hits. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Tickets on sale now at silenticecenter.com. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on now. Get a big deal on a 2026 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio, from weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, man. Every time I hear a good piano tune, I'm just like, I wish I would have kept doing piano. Everybody has a regret in life. That would be the one for me, is giving up piano too early. I know I could start it now, but that seems like it's... I do think if I had more time, I would like to play the piano. I'm sure I can make time. I get it all. Don't give me some motivational speech. I get it. But I know that that's the... if I back in one thing in my life, I wish I would have kept up with my piano lessons. Mrs. Olson was my piano teacher. I'll never forget her. Sick teacher. I quite enjoyed it, actually. But, just, kid, teenager, piano's not cool. What an idiot. Looking back on it now. Wish I had some tickling the ivory skills still. Would be good. 833-401-1440, 1440. We're going to get to our stats of the day right now. Brought to you by All Star Construction, founded in 2009. They help out building communities, shaping them by doing underground utilities for power, gas, telecommunications, and street lighting. That is All Star Construction. So a few stats to get to today. Now, this is a great stat, and it's not mine. If I'm going to get a stat from someone else, I want to credit where I got it from. And I got this from Mike Petrillo, who posted it earlier, because we hear a lot, because I see that people are talking about, oh, look at the Jays, man. Like, they have the lowest strikeout rate. Great. And they're like 18%. Yippee. So they have the lowest strikeout rate. Do you know what that's led to them offensively? A whole lot of nothing. They have the 5th fewest runs scored in Major Leagues of Baseball at 164. So what does it really do? But then Mike went even deeper. So here it is. The teams with the lowest strikeout rates have scored 164, 171, and 173 runs respectively. Okay? 164, 171, 173. The teams with the 3 highest strikeout rates have scored, wait for it, 175 runs, 177 runs, and 164. So the 164, they equal each other out. 173, 171 to 175 and 177. So the teams have actually struck out more, slightly more runs than the teams who have struck out the least. So, look at the Blue Jays. Anybody who watches them, outside of Okamoto, they're a singles team. Vlad freaking Guerrero has 2 home runs. We're at the 40-game mark. If you prorate that, he's on pace for 8 home runs. Now, Okamoto's on pace for 40. Good for him. Vlad Guerrero, 2 home runs. I don't care that he's not striking out. You watch his swing, and how many times has he even hit fly balls deep? Not very, he crushes it. You're like, oh, look at his exit velocity. Like, some of the stats now, I'm sorry. What does it matter? Oh, look at the lowest strikeout rate. So they're not striking out. So they're a singles hitting team. Doesn't score you a lot of runs. I'd rather take a team that strike out a little bit more. Not be the highest strikeout team, but a team that's going to get with more pop. To me, it's much, much better. And here's another one for stats for you that I think, for everybody out there that's like, oh, Chris Knobloch's been here. It's been here too long. He can't get any better, right? It's 3 years. They didn't win the cup. They made it twice. They took a step back this year. He's got to be out. Right? That's what I keep hearing from people. He's got to be out. Because why? Well, because they took a step back. Okay. So here's a fun little fact for you. Do you know who the 3, well, there's 4. The 4 longest serving coaches right now in the NHL? And actually, I'm going to go 3 because the 4th longest isn't even that long. So the coaches who have been head coaches longer than the 22-23 season. Well, Marty St. Louis, technically, I guess, because he came in, he got hired late in 2022. But his first full NHL season was 22-23. So this is his 4th year as a head coach. And missed the playoffs the first 2 years. Then he made it with 91 points last year, lost the first round. Now they're in the second round. Good progression. Okay, in year 4. John Cooper got hired late in the year, very late. He was hired in March of 2013, so he got like 2 weeks. So let's just go from his 13-14 season, his first full year as a head coach. He has been in there. Fun little fact for you. Since he's been the head coach, so from 13-14 until now, Tampa Bay has the most playoff wins since Cooper took over. Now, the second longest tenured coach in the NHL, Jared Bednar, who his first full season, they won 22 games his first full year as a head coach. Now, he had been a head coach in the ECHL for a few years, and then he'd been on 2 different teams in the AHL as a head coach. Sorry, 3 teams. Peoria, Springfield, Lake Erie. That's what he'd been. Never played in the NHL. Was a former WHLer. Right? Big defenseman, tough, mean, Played mainly his career in the ECHL. Had 2 full seasons in the American League, but this guy grinded it out in the 90s in the ECHL for multiple years. He played like 8 years, actually 6 years in the ECHL because some of those years he got a little bit of time in the AHL, but 6 years mainly in the ECHL. Jared Bednar takes over as head coach. Now, since he's taken over as head coach, the Avs currently have the 3rd most wins in the NHL in the playoffs. And if they get to the Cup this year, they'll have the most. Then you go to the 3rd longest tenured head coach who took over in 2000 for the start of the 2018-19 season because he was hired in May. Next season begins. Rod the Bod, Brindamore. And guess what? Since he took over, he has the 2nd most wins. Now, guess who's ahead of him? Jared Bednar in Colorado. Now, depending on how this rest of the playoffs plays out, he might be 1st. If not, he's going to be 2nd. Coaches, none of them had been an NHL coach before. John Cooper went from making the playoffs his first year, losing in round 1, going to the final his 2nd year, going to the 3rd round his 3rd year, missing the playoffs in his 4th year, didn't get fired. They went from Cup final to conference final to out of the playoffs. Didn't get fired. Had Vasilevsky, had Hedman, had Stamkos, had Kucherov, had all these guys. Most other organizations would have fired him because that's what teams do. 3-year span. Oh, you know what? The teams, they tune them out. So if they tune them out, why are these guys having success? Now, does that mean that John Cooper, every year, he had a great year of coaching? Nope. He's never won Coach of the Year. Now, we can debate if that's the right or wrong decision. Never had it happen. And even in 2019, when they had the greatest regular season, they didn't even win a playoff game. Didn't get fired then. Because in 2017, he missed the playoffs. 2018, lost in the 3rd round. 2019, didn't win a playoff game. Got swept. Still didn't get fired. 6 years in. So, while I know many of you get emotional and you yell and we got to get rid of Knobloch, I don't like this. You only focus on what you don't like. You don't think the coach had any impact at all to help them to get to 2 consecutive Stanley Cup finals? And he can't grow and build on it? Why? Well, are you saying that he's like maxed out his learning capabilities? I don't think so. Like Jared Bednar, as I mentioned, 22. You know how many coaches would get fired when their first year they won 22 games in today's NHL? Lots, man. They do. But they didn't. And then Bednar has made the playoffs every other year. Now, he won a cup in 2022. He's lost in the first round 3 times. He's lost in the second round the other 4 times. And now we'll see if he gets to the second, third, or fourth round this year. Rod Brindamore. Like, how come no one ever talks about, well, the window's closing in Carolina? No one ever talks about it. Well, I like Rod because he's fiery on the bench. Like, that seems to be now the new thing that everybody's upset about is Chris Knobloch isn't fiery on the bench. Now, would I like him to get fiery once? Yeah, probably. But I don't need him to be fake. Other guys are fiery. Rod Brindamore has been fiery. Has his team ever got Stanley Cup final? No. They might this year. Awesome. So fiery can help you, but I think when I hear and I see these teams, oh, got to get a new coach. Oh, going to get a new coach. It's obviously going to work. Like, I know it worked out for Florida. Great. It's one team. Lots of other guys make coaches changes. Doesn't guarantee you more success. All it does guarantee is your owner is usually paying out the coach who got fired. And now you got to learn a whole new system. And the one thing to keep in mind, this coming season now, you have an even shorter preseason. You only get 2 games for your veterans. That's the max. That's the new rule. Connor McDavid's only going to dress twice in the preseason. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be both home games. Right? Him and Leon Draisaitl. Veteran guys, they're not traveling. So, them and Heim, they'll probably play the 2 home games here. So then you're going to get some of the other guys who will play there. So they all can only play 2 games. You have to dress a certain amount of veterans on the road. So you're not even going to get 1 preseason game. Well, maybe if your last one's a home game, maybe. But you got to strategize about who's going to play where to get the guys here and get everybody in your lineup once. So And if you have a whole new system, you're kind of saying, well, they're going to have to learn it as the season goes along. And for an organization that has started slowly, is that necessarily the best strategy? I think you have to look at everything under that goes along with just other than, fire the coach because I didn't like how their playoffs went. And you can, I think it's a little too premature to say Chris Knobloch can't keep growing and maturing as a coach. I could be wrong. But I would probably err on the side of thinking, you know what? He's got some room to grow. So it'd be important to point out the three longest tenured head coaches have been there, and their teams have all had lots of success since they've been named the head coach. And look at Marty St. Louis. He had no coaching experience at any professional level. And he's found a way. So we'll see. What's funny is, though, you look at like how many coaches changes that we've had lately. Like Marty St. Louis is the fourth longest tenured coach. Well, that's technically not true. I should take that back because Utah's head coach, I think he would be longer, but they only have him listed on the site as 2 years. But he was obviously in Arizona prior to that, so I think he might be fourth. Yeah, he would be fourth. So there you go. Quick break. We'll return. It's Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Casino, live dealer, lottery, instance, all in one stop. That is PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Barkells to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Just Brab and 118th.
Edmonton's go-to station for all things sports is Sports 1440.
From Low Tide to Kevin Carius and Jason Gregor, we deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
Tune in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
To Sports 1440.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Hey there, it's Brandon Douglas from Sports 1440. If you're tired of slow, unreliable internet connections like I am, check out Starlink. It's fast, reliable, even in bad weather, and even works for 4K streaming for movie nights, online gaming, and more. Growing up on the farm in the sticks of central Alberta, we tried everything to get reliable internet, but we're always left with buffering video and half-loaded websites. There's nothing worse than losing your connection while streaming the big game. I'm getting mine set up soon and can't wait. If you're ready for better internet, order online in 2 minutes at starlink.com/radio or call 1-800-GO-STARLINK.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5 plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Did you know that when you play Colonial Golf Club, just 5 minutes from Edmonton and Beaumont, you can have a monkey be your caddy?
We interrupt this commercial to let you know Colonial Golf Club does offer great course conditions, greens that are always fast and true. We offer memberships, and we have a newly renovated clubhouse with a new menu offering great food and drink, but we do not offer a monkey as a caddy for you.
Oh, man, I really like monkeys.
For more details and to book, visit colonial.ca. Monkey not included.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EUL. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at EUL.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. EUL.ca, your partners in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
427, welcome back. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, a little odds boost. Yankees win big. Blue Jays maybe at home against the red-hot Tampa Bay Rays. Gosman is on the mound. We got a little NHL for you. Can the Wild even up the series? We think so. And then OK Thunder sweep time is coming for the OKC Thunder tonight. And the rather quiet offensive playoffs for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, I think, continues. You look at his points in the series, 18, 22, 23. Not bad, but not crazy. And I think they win with another low offensive surge from him. Tonight, we shall see how it goes. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 as we go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, the most diversified electrical contractor in the province. And that nice sun outside, opportunity for you to save a lot of money, get some grants and everything else. Go to actionelectrical.net and they can walk you through how to help on your commercial building. As Joe Smith joins us, a beat reporter at The Athletic, covers the Minnesota Wild, who are fresh off a big win on Saturday that chased the goaltender. So now Blackwood is going to start for Colorado. And most importantly, I think for the Wild is that, they got Kaprizov going, Joe. So let's start there and just the importance and the need to have Kirill the Thrill make an appearance in this series.
Great to join you guys again. Yeah, absolutely. Like, he's always been kind of the engine of this team. And then you have another superstar, Matt Boldy, who's been terrific. But Kirill, when he starts the game like he did, it was so physical and great in puck battles and just kind of driving the team. They reached another level. And this probably might have been one of the best games overall the entire season in Game 3. And, the goal is one thing, the assists, and he still leads the league in playoff points right now. But he was kind of relatively quiet by his standards overall in the first few games. He wanted to be better, and he definitely delivered last game. So more from that will give them a better chance in Game 4 to make this a tie series.
What about the health of Eriksson Ek here? Where's he at?
Well, he's not playing tonight. We know that for sure.
Okay.
He skated the other day. He's considered day-to-day, I guess, by his standards, because he's a really tough guy. But he has a significant injury he's battling through. So it's a matter of, I think, pain tolerance and trust in him that he knows when he's ready or it can be effective or not. So not playing today. We'll see on Game 5. But he's obviously feels closer than like Jonas Brodin, for example, for the Wild, or top defenseman who's lower body injury too. So, but they're definitely missing him, and they're hoping that they can get through another game with other guys playing well instead of him.
So when it comes to Brodin, no chance he's back in this series. What about if they win, can he play in the conference final, Brodin?
I don't want to speculate that much. It might be a little bit after that, but I mean, things can change with recoveries and all that stuff like that. But he had another significant injury too, so I just don't see him playing the series, at least from that part. We can go from there once we get there.
So, like, those are two massive losses, right? To a team like Brodin's probably their best pure defender on the back end, I think. And it just, it disrupts the pairings, and some guys have to play a little bit higher up in the lineup because of that. And then Eriksson Ek's probably their best, two-way center iceman. Can you quantify, Joe, just how much of a loss having both of them out has been for the Wild?
Well, it's certainly not ideal. It's probably two of the people you can least likely to be easy to replace, especially Eriksson Ek, because how their depth up the middle. But, give the guys credit. Hartman's played well. You see Daniel Yurov, the rookie, playing some of his best hockey the last few games. They do have some depth in the deadline, getting Nick Foligno and Michael McCarron, but there's nobody like Eriksson Ek on this team. So that's a tough one. But And Brodeen, give credit to the guys there too. Damon Hunt, a young defenseman, has stepped in when Middleton struggled and played well with Jared Spurgeon, the second pair. So those guys you can kind of replace for a bit, but not for a long time, which is why they're hoping Eriksson Ek comes back sometime in this series.
Well, yeah, that would be massive. So what did you see outside of Kaprizov? What was the major difference you felt you saw in Game 3 that wasn't there in Games 1 and 2?
I mean, just they looked like themselves. You know, they were desperate, which is obvious because they're down 2-0. If they lose that game, pretty much season's over. But the whole team just played with a kind of determination and commitment level defensively. They were all over Colorado as a team, and they had everybody kind of contributing. So it wasn't one thing, but they played back to their identity, which they didn't really have the first couple of games. And you kind of were thrown into that series, right? They won Game 6 against Dallas, and then 48 hours later they're in Denver, where the Colorado had like a week or so to prepare for the next opponent. So now with a 3-day break in between Games 2 and 3, they felt more like them last game. I hope they continue this tonight.
You look at the change in goal. We saw it for Minnesota, and I know everybody will second guess it. We had our goalie expert on, Kevin Woodley, and he actually thought it was a good decision by Minnesota because, you know, Wallstead, he doesn't start 7-8 games in a row in the regular season, 6 games. So, you know, you ask a guy to do it in the regular season, it's a little bit of a challenge. So even though they lost the game, he still thought it was the right decision. What do you make about the Blackwood change and maybe how they might attack him differently than Wallstead?
Well, even mine too. Like Blackwood was kind of the number one, maybe going into the year, right? Wedgwood just played himself in that conversation and earned that start the playoffs. And so you kind of like the Gustafson for the Wild, right? And I think you give the Colorado credit for maybe pulling Wedgwood last game early. So you got Blackwood into a game, like a period and a half last game to see how he played and how he looked versus I think the Wild threw in Gustafson into the fire after not playing for 3 weeks. And it kind of showed his first period there in game 2. So it feels like Blackwood and Wedgwood have been pretty equal in the season. So maybe this gives them a spark. Maybe he makes a couple more saves than Wedgwood did because Wedgwood's definitely been beaten by the Wild the first 3 games. Maybe that gives a different dynamic on a team that was outplayed in Game 3.
Joe Smith joins us, beat reporter for the Minnesota Wild. Did you notice any significant matchup changes that the Wild went out of their way to get on home ice in Game 3? And do you think that continues tonight?
Obviously, I think they're gonna try to get their top guys, you know, Kaprizov and Boley, maybe away from the McCarr and Tays pairing. But overall, I don't think John Hines is really too much of a matchup guy. Like he lets his players go out there and play for the most part. So I think that's the biggest thing is maybe freeing up their guys like Krill and Boldy from the top D pairs with the Avalanche overall. But I think it's more so to kind of protect or get some of their defensemen against other forwards for the Avalanche.
And you mentioned Boldy, and he was unreal in the first series, but, you know, they got Kaprizov going. They're going to need Boldy here to make an appearance. Not that he's played poorly per se, but you got to make an appearance on the score sheet at some point if you're Matt Boldy, don't you?
Oh, you do. And again, like he was a big reason why they won that first round series against Dallas, right? Like 6 goals. And, you know, even when Kirill was playing well, but not quite as dynamic, Boldy was there. And so I think, you know, what's coming. Last game was the best game for Boldy in a few, at least for me watching him. He was flying. He was relentless. Like he was creating. He was flipping sticks and creating, you know, change of possession there. So I think it's coming for him. Just a matter of time.
Meanwhile, the Avs, they're quick, they're fast. You know, it's one game. I thought Game 3 was a must-win for the Wild, and I would argue that it is too, because if you go down 3-1 to Colorado, then you got to win 2 out of 3 on the road. It's very, very difficult. And if you can win tonight, then you go back with all the momentum in a best of 3, and maybe for the first time all year, Colorado's down on themselves. So you look at the approach of the Wild. We know, hey, Captain Obvious, you need a good start. I understand that. But is there an element of the Wild's game that you think is a must-have for them to be successful tonight and win?
Well, I think the special teams, like were pretty brutal going into Game 3, and they had a really good turnaround there where killed a couple of big power plays by Avalanche in the first period when the game was in doubt, and a couple power play goals. Even the strength, they've been really good these playoffs. They outscored Dallas 14-4 overall at 5-on-5, and they've been pretty even with Colorado. So they can play with them. Even strength, it's just a matter of making sure those special teams don't really hurt them, which they had in previous games. So they'll have the energy, they'll have the commitment. You know, I'm sure the Avalanche will have a much better game than Game 3. So there'll be a little more desperation there because if you all of a sudden the Wild win this game, they put the pressure more on Colorado going home for Game 5, knowing that the Wild are capable of beating this team.
Joe, we appreciate it. Enjoy the rundown. Any other lineup changes other than Wedgwood for either team tonight?
It didn't seem like they're waiting for Josh Manson to see if he was able to play or not. I think it was kind of a game time decision type deal. But for the Wild, they did the same lineup overall with Wallstead in that. So pretty much similar for both. Awesome. Thanks, Joe. We appreciate it, man. Enjoy the games. Thank you so much. That is Joe Smith, beat reporter for the Wild. And that, I don't know if you watched the game on Saturday or not, but man, Kirill Kaprizov in the first period was just a one-man wrecking crew, physically scoring, setting up plays. Like, he's a dynamic player. When he's on his game, he's no question one of the top 10 players in the league. No doubt in my mind. Like, he's so skilled. He's fast, throwing the physicality. And they're going to need that, because if you believe that Hughes can counter Makar in a pretty even fashion, then you're going to need somebody. And I don't think Kaprizov every game can go. Maybe unfair to say he has to be as good as McKinnon, but if he's close, and that's why they need Matt Boldy. Matt Boldy was one of the main reasons they beat Dallas. We all know it. They were unreal. That and their other 5-on-5 defense play, they gave up nothing. But Matt Boldy, like, you need to score in short series. You just do. And they got 3 points Kaprizov. They need Matt Boldy to get in the score sheet. He had 6 goals in the first series, man. Like, he's a 40-goal scorer. It's tonight's game 4. This is not the time you want him going 4 games in a row without a goal. You just don't. That's what makes the playoffs so awesome. And pressure-packed, that your top guys, like, you can't really afford to go 4 games and be quiet very often. It's very difficult to do. So we'll see. Quick break. We'll come back. We got 5 questions and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose. Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1, saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2, water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3, saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Take up to 60% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $3.99 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent set. See in store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day, with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Start thinking spring road trips and off-road trips in your new Subaru Crosstrek. Stylish, rugged, and so many features. Standard on every Crosstrek. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, EyeSight driver assist technology, heated seats, and LED steering responsive headlights. Plus, with interest rates from 0.99%, you'll love the affordable weekly payments. No waiting, immediate delivery available. Subaru Crosstrek. Visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Millions and millions of Canadians do not have a doctor. We have a crisis. Canada's Medical Clinic is opening clinics across Canada to allow everyone to have a doctor to call their own. Early detection saves lives. We've got some great news. You can call now and book an appointment with your new doctor. Canada'sMedicalClinic.com. And more good news. Canada's Medical Clinic Windermere is also now a walk-in clinic. We'll see you there.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Summer is calling. Is your vehicle ready for the road trip? Get ready for the season at Nisku Ford with offers that turn up the heat. Right now, you choose how you save. Finance your new vehicle with rates as low as 0%. Or choose massive cash rebates as high as $12,500. Whether you're hauling the boat or packing up the family, we have the Ford you need for your summer adventures. Start your summer upgrade at niskuford.ca. Nisku Ford, above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.444, we roll through Monday afternoon. Busy night, NHL, NBA, MLB, the Blue Jays hosting the red-hot Tampa Bay Rays. And right at the conclusion of our show, you can listen to that one on Sports 1440 on the radio. As it's time for 5 questions brought to you by The Brick and their Big Tent sale. Going on until Thursday. So you want to get in, man, you can get some unreal deals. How about this one? You can get a sofa, a coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and a dining set, all for less than $1,500. Pretty good deal at The Brick and thebrick.com and the tent sale.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason. Question number 1. If you had to give Stan Bowman a letter grade over his tenure in Edmonton so far, what would it be?
That's a good question. He's had some home runs, and then he's had some pretty big misses, right? Like the Podkolzin trade is not only the trade. So you trade for Podkolzin, and then you get him 2 years and $1 million. Now you get him at 3 more years at $2.9 million. Like the trade's unreal. The contract's being unreal. Like that's an A++ deal, right? The Dickinson and Murphy, if they re-sign those guys, then I really love those trades. If they don't, doesn't look as good. Obviously, we know the Stu Skinner trade, not good at all. I would like the Kapanen waivers has been an unreal acquisition, plus the contract you got. Like he's been overachieving. Roslovic free agent signing, really good for $1.5 million. Like you can't ask for much more. Connor Ingram turned out to be a pretty good trade. You gave up zero, like literally nothing to get Connor Ingram. So that part of the trade was good. Now the bad decision was, why didn't you just send Pickard down and call up Ingram to see what you had before you traded for Jari? Right. So I probably say a C+ at this stage.
Pretty close with you, because I was hovering at like B-.
Yeah,
just
it's close.
Like you said, some of the moves really good. The length of some of the deals though are the ones that kind of get me. The Wallman for 7 years, I'm sure it helped get that deal done. Would I have preferred 4 to 5? Absolutely. Obviously, Trent Frederick's the one that we're all going to look at as it progresses here, and was 8 years necessary. Maybe to get the deal done, but maybe not for the long-term success of your franchise. So, yeah, I was kind of right around a B- because he has done some good. They went to a final, didn't win. I think this is going to be evolving in the next offseason here to see really what happens. Now, 6 teams remaining still playing in the NHL, not counting the Carolina Hurricanes. If we were doing power rankings for your top 3, what would they look like?
Go ahead.
Colorado would be my number 1. I would go number 2, the Montreal Canadiens, and my number 3 would be the Minnesota Wild. So 2 teams playing each other would be in my top 3, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Vegas and Anaheim. We'll see.
Yeah.
I have them below both essential teams that are playing right now.
Okay. So I would probably have Colorado 1, Carolina 2, Minnesota 3.
All right. Question number 3 for you. Do you expect any follow-up from the Josh Norris punching incident?
No. I don't even know if he hit him. No. There's like get a glove on, over top, ongoing scrum. No issue with it.
The only reason I ask is because we saw Ridley Gregg get the 2-game regular season.
Dude, it was totally different what Ridley Gregg did. Ridley Gregg walked in, waited, opening, boom, uppercut to a guy already engaged. No, not even close. I don't think they're remotely the same.
Question. Well, and then there was the 2 fines today. Nothing really major here. Question number 4 for you today. Reports out there that the Bucks are shipping Giannis. If you were a GM, what would you be willing to part ways with to acquire the Greek Freak?
Oh, man. Well, basketball trades are different, man. Like, we see them trade like 4 first-rounders like it's nothing. So, geez. Well, I guess it depends who the team is, right? If I'm trading for Giannis, I got to be a team that thinks we can win in the next 3 years, right? Or says, hey, we feel we're right there, and he'll push us over the top. If I'm Giannis, I'd really like to try to get traded into the Eastern Conference. Because I got traded into the West. I could be on a good team, but the Spurs, like, you know who has a ton of assets who could do it?
Thunder?
Yes. Honestly, right? Like, they got to, you could trade Lou Dort if you wanted to, and you'd probably give up Williams if you wanted to, and they'd still have lots of pieces. So, man, but I'd give up a fair amount, I think, for Giannis. I think he's got at least probably 3 really good seasons left in him.
That one's fun to think about because 3 first-rounders this year, 3 next year.
Yeah, like look at all the picks they have.
But yeah, they so many assets. If I was a team like that, 100% I'd be throwing away first-round picks for him. You've got the guys you need in-house. I was trying to look back at maybe a comparable trade, but when you look at Luka, you look at Kawhi, they're both 26 years old at the time of the trades. This one, Giannis is 31.
He's only, he turned 32 before next season?
In the season next year.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it'll be his 32-year-old year. So I don't mind that at all. Like he's not that old, and the Bucks just haven't been that good. So you might be able to get him and get 3-4 really good years out of him.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, depending on the team, and if I was a team that maybe needed those picks and I wanted to bring him in, but I had some young assets, I'd have no issue parting ways with those because you just never know. And you can bring in an established player like him, I'd be all about it. Final question for you. Today is National Eat What You Want Day. So I'm going to throw away health concerns here. What would the perfect meal be? Realistically, though, you can't be like 500 courses. Like, what would the dream meal be? You're not counting calories.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, and I'll be honest, man. I rarely count calories. I've never weighed any food ever. But like I'm cognizant of what I eat. So if I was just having one great meal, oh man, I'd probably start with a good appetizer, and I'm like favorite app. Oh geez, I'm going with shrimp. I love cocktail shrimp, so that would be on the top, guaranteed. I truly like cocktail shrimp with cake. So for mixing and matching, then I'm gonna go with a good Caesar salad, light dressing, and no croutons. Waste of my time. Don't like them. Not in a salad. Probably a really good. I would go Vivo's fettuccine Alfredo. One of my faves. I love it. And I am probably going to go with a steak that I had at Dominique's in Arizona. It's the greatest steak I've ever had to this date in my life. It's phenomenal. And I would also want some, because, you share it with the table. Cons are going to have some, like the glazed cook what? Brussels sprouts,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some mushrooms to go with the steak. And then for dessert, I just made, I like to bake cakes. I just made this new, I made this brand new chocolate cake recipe. And I put icing in the middle. Like I made 2 of the cakes in the 9-inch pan. And I put the icing in the middle and put the other one on top. And I used some yogurt and coconut oil in it. So it became even more moist to die for. So that's the cake I will have with some vanilla ice cream.
It's classy meal right there. For me, yeah, it's probably not going to be as fancy. I'd probably start off with just some wings, probably barbecue, really saucy ones, boned in. Usually I go boneless, but I'll switch it up here. For the meal, I just want like a little filet mignon on the side with a deep dish pizza, probably pepperoni bacon, and then for dessert, we'll wrap it up with double chocolate cake. And just to mix it in there, the beverages will be a drink of the cows tonight as well. Little Oreo milkshake as well. I think that'd be the unhealthy, delicious meal for me.
All right.
Not unrealistic either.
No, not at all.
Some people might call it Friday night, but yeah, it'd be a pretty good one. Pizza, wings, cake. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't like a good cake, but you can get me with almost any like homemade chocolate chip cookies. I get to actually, if I was going to go with desserts, the banana cream pie at Roost Chris. That is, have you ever had it?
No, I think I go with the chocolate cake there.
Oh, buddy, you got to try trust me, you try the banana cream pie. They caramelize it. Oh, it's so good. God, I keep telling my son that we're going to take him there, and he's going to try it for dessert. So, I think actually we're going there this summer. Got to book it off. So, love it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Gregor, why wouldn't you trade Nurse for CC straight up? It just gives you the cap space. Yeah, I know everybody always talks about cap space, but okay, so let's say you make that trade hypothetically. So now you got what, $5 million in cap space, right? So what are you going to do? Do you think there's Darren Radish? Is there anybody else as a free agent defenseman that you think is worth $5 million that's good? So, and if you can't get him in free agency, how else are you going to get a second pair left defenseman? Like, I have no problem if you want to trade Darnell Nurse, but what's your plan to replace him? So look at the left defensemen that are available as free agents. Now, do you think Ryan Shea is a second pair left D-man right now? Matt Grzelcyk, Logan Stanley, Carson Soucy, Ben Hutton, Nick Leddy. Now, Jamie Alexiak, maybe. Right? But is Alexiak and CC at $9 million better than Nurse? And if you have CC, where is he playing? Are you signing Murphy or are you not signing Murphy? Because if you didn't sign Murphy, then you're trading Ty Emberson. Right? Like there's a whole trickle-down effect here. At this stage, I'm not sure why I'm taking on Cody Ceci. Just to save some cap space. I'm not really sure. And I like Cody Ceci a few years ago, but things change. Your analysis changes on players. I would be looking, if I'm trading Darnell Nurse, I want a guy in return who can play 90 minutes. Now, he might be cheaper. No problem. But Nurse still plays 90 minutes. He's not just an albatross of a player that has zero value. But I wouldn't do Nurse for Cody Ceci. Like, because all you're doing then is, oh, great. Now we got a third pair right defenseman at 4.5 for 3 years, we don't really want. Well, we got $5 extra million. So now you have to guarantee you can get Jamie Alexiak. Got to guarantee it. Unless you think Ryan Shea's the answer, and he's played 1 year in the NHL. He had a good year, but I don't know how good he is. Honestly, I don't. I have no idea. So I'd be hesitant. Only because I don't want to have a major downgrade. If you have a downgrade a little bit, no problem. And if you had another left defenseman that I felt like I could, hey, maybe you say, well, Gregor, I'll just play Jake Wallman in my second pair. All right. Well, then you still got to get a third pair left defenseman. And like cap space, funny, with the cap going up as much as it is now, cap space can help you maybe more at the deadline, potentially. But I know that I expect the Oilers to be close to the cap team, but I don't think they should be. If the cap is 104, maybe leave a little wiggle room. That's what I would look at. So I have no problem trading Nurse. I was the one who said it earlier in the year. Like, I just is at the stage now where he is what he is. And is he ever going to improve his decision-making? It's hard to think he can. Maybe he could. Like, maybe there's another defense whisperer out there that can do it, but it'll be tough. So, to downgrade and not have a guarantee, like if you're making the trade, I think you need to have another trade in the back. Okay, I'm trading Nurse for some other guy that's not a lefty. Okay, fine. But then I have to have another trade that's like, we're making this one and boom, we have this next one coming. So you know exactly what's happening. Otherwise, it's a risk to just free up the salary. And then what are you going to spend the salary on? I'll guarantee it's better. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. And oh, baby, the wait is finally over. Heavy duty trucks, 0% financing right now. And on all half tons, 0% financing. NorthgateGM.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
One game tonight in the NHL. Wild and Avs from St. Paul. Puck up just after 6 o'clock. Colorado leading that series 2-1 in the association. The Caps trying to even up their series with the Pistons at 6, and at 8:30, the Lakers will try to keep their season going as they take on the Thunder, trailing 3-0 in the majors. Blue Jays taking on the Rays. First pitch in about 10 minutes' time. We'll join that game in progress here on our AM feed. Right now, Yankees, Orioles scoreless. Guardians up on the Angels 2-0 midway through the third. Later on tonight, the Rangers host the Diamondbacks, Mariners in Houston, and the Dodgers taking on the Giants. PWHL Game 5, Minnesota-Montreal tonight been postponed due to player safety concerns related to illness. The league final is scheduled to begin next Monday against the Ottawa Charge. From the NFL, the Chargers signing tight end David Njoku, a 1-year deal worth up to $8 million, while the Pittsburgh Steelers extending kicker Chris Boswell, 4 years, $28 million. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and hear the latest edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks. Ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for 2. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Everything is going to be okay. If you're feeling the weight of too much debt, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or a consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal will eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we've got your back.
Everybody has a regret in life. That would be the one.
Coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call-solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Afternoon, busy night. And
season pricing today.
Visit ProSolutionsInc.ca to schedule your service today.
The puck is passed up through the neutral zone, and here's a breakaway. He's coming in hot. He shoots it. Oh, no, a broken stick.
When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Athletic Care. Injuries don't wait, and neither should you. 01 Athletic Care offers one-stop access to doctors, x-rays, and casting. It's expert musculoskeletal care covered by Alberta Health right in West Edmonton Mall. Move from injury to recovery. Book now at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. How are you? Made it through Monday. Good for you. After 5 o'clock, you make your way home. Hopefully no traffic snarls where you're going. Take a little deep breath. Hopefully you can get home in the normal amount of allotted time. And accident-free. Because, man, accidents suck. They suck even worse when it's nicer out, right? They just do. Because you're like, yeah, maybe I want to go hit the driving range tonight. Even if it's windy, I still like the driving range. It's just how it goes. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. And remember, Lotto Max tomorrow. You can get your tickets. 15 million bucks. Good to win at PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, a little NBA action tonight. The Thunder looking to finish off their second consecutive sweep to match the Carolina Hurricanes, who are already into the second round because no one can stop their top line. That's really what it is, honestly. Through two series, that top line in Carolina is just being lights out. Nobody's had an answer for it. Taylor Hall, Jackson Blake, Logan Stankoven, killing it, right? Hall has 12 points. Blake has 11. Stankoven has 7 goals and 8 points. And they've been really good, man. Like, Hall's only got two of his points in the power play. He's got 10 even strength. Plus 10. Stankoven's plus 8. Blake is plus 7. So they've been pretty good. And it's kind of wild. Like, Svechnikov's an even player in the playoffs. Slavin's an even player in the playoffs. Like, these guys are some of their top guys. Aho's plus 1. That line has been carrying Carolina. And right now, you could make a strong argument that through 2 rounds, Taylor Hall would be a leading candidate for the Hart Trophy. Not the Hart Trophy, for the Conn Smythe Trophy. Not bad. Good for him. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440, where you can text us. We got a lot of text flying in as we get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist. If you're looking for a job, they are hiring right now because they got lots of work for you to do. Top man, operators, pipe layers, just looking to get in the biz. They got a career for you. Check it out, gsconstruction.ca/careers. Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good Monday afternoon. How you doing?
Well, not as good as Curious. I go on the show this morning. He says he had a hole-in-one on Saturday.
He did. Have you ever had a hole-in-one?
No, I never have. Have you?
No. I lipped out once, but that's, which is, you know what? It ended up being 6 inches away. So really, not close.
No, it's either it's a hole-in-one or it's not.
Exactly.
Like everybody's landed something within a foot at some point in your life, and you thought, damn, that was sure close, but it's not a hole-in-one.
No, I got an eagle on a par 4 where I jarred it from 160.
Yeah,
So
that's like a hole-in-one, but it's not a hole-in-one.
No, it's not a hole-in-one. But it's still -2. Like you get a hole-in-one on a par 3, it's -2. The hell, it's the same thing, but it's not a hole-in-one. You're right.
Well, and I sometimes will go out and hit 9 holes myself and just play by myself. And I think when I'm on a par 3 and I'm shooting, I'm thinking, man, if I got a hole-in-one and no one's here, like, am I going to tell people I got a hole-in-one, or does it not count when you don't have any witnesses?
Well, that's true. I guess what you'd have to do is video yourself walking from the tee box to the hole.
Yeah, maybe. But
Right.
you could pretty easy to stage that if you're really like, I guess I'd say to you, Jay,
Who
who would ever
user to stage that? Is guess how
right? What kind of person would fake a hole-in-one? Like, you got a hole-in-one, you celebrate it. I don't care if there's no one there. If I'm telling you that I went out golfing yesterday by myself, got a hole-in-one,
yeah,
I got a hole-in-one. I'm not lying about that. Like, come on.
Yeah. That's true. A few things to discuss, Beck.
Taylor Hall's killing it. Holy cow.
He is totally killing. But I'm just curious, before we get to, was there an internal memo sent at all around Sportsnet? I don't know if you saw it. They did that report on the story for Nick Suzuki and his wife, but then they used AI to show the pictures of him and his wife and the new baby. Like, I don't know who decided that was a good idea, but obviously they faced a lot of backlash over it. Was there a memo sent out? Please, in the future, avoid AI pictures, s'il vous plaît.
There was not one that I got in my email, but that's okay. I'm so far down the chain. I'm not sure the guys in Toronto know I exist some days, which is awesome, let me add. But I didn't see anything, but I did see a lot of backlash online. I didn't see the live thing when they did it. It's all new, man. Technology's new. It's like when Twitter came out, guys stepped in it all the time. And now you've been around for a while and you figured out when to tweet and when to shut your mouth. And I would think AI is sort of the next level. It's something new. And if we stepped in it in Sportsnet, you know what? I guess you better learn and not step in it again next time, huh?
Yeah, no, it's very true. Very true. So, yeah, speaking of the Hurricanes, obviously this is the best strategy, man. You sweep back to back, and now your starting goalie gets a rest, which is great because that's never really been his forte is staying healthy. But you look at the Hurricanes, and Buffalo and Montreal. Does either one shape up better to give them a run, do you think?
I don't know. That's a good question. Excuse me. Oh boy. Like I like the way both Buffalo and Montreal play. They press the pace. To me, Carolina they have such an unbelievably tight system that they play. They're so disciplined. They bend and don't break. When you have your push, they don't give you, they tend not to give up much. And when they have their push, they're sure hard to stop. Which team would I think has a better shot? I'm going to say Montreal, just because I think they probably have more weapons when they're all going. But how can you not be thinking that Carolina is going to come out of the East at this point? I mean, they've won, 7 in a row here, right? How could you? Sorry, 8. What did I say? 7, 8 in a row. How could you not find me a guy that says they're going to lose the next round, right? No one's not picking Carolina to win the next round. They're such a good team. Maybe it's their time, Jay. They've been hanging around the top for a long time. Maybe it's finally their time.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see, Spec.
Don't you think aren't they sort of that San Jose from the 2000s that was hanging around and never won it? Maybe they're that team. Maybe they finally found their moment here. Don't you think?
Potentially. Right. But that San Jose team never found, like, they got close, but
They
unfortunately
never found theirs. Yeah.
never found it all the way to the top for sure, which is hard to do, man. It's hard to win. Like, I think Oilers fans can attest to that after seeing what's happened the last few years in Edmonton. Looking at the the other things going on in the NHL right now. My question to you, Spec, is do you think a shorter training camp, well, because you only have 4 preseason games next year, and your veterans only get to play in 2 of them.
Yes.
That's cool. Does it impact, do you think, how teams are going to run training camp, and specifically maybe bringing in new coaches? Because what we used to say, hey, I want to use training camp to bring in the new systems. So is that another thing that the Oilers should be considering? If they're even, I'm not even sold they're considering a coaching change, but if they are, do you think that's something that's remotely on their list of things to consider?
Well, I think it's a big picture thing for sure. I don't think it's going to stop you from changing the coach. If you think you need a new coach, you're getting a new coach. You're not saying, I don't like my coach, but since training camp's short, I'm going to stick with my guy. Now, the calls I'm making and the people I'm talking to, I don't foresee. I thought that this week a guy better get on the phone and figure it out. And the phone calls I made today, there's no press conference coming this week that I know of. So, I don't, and that tells me that they're happy with Knobloch and they're not making a move. So, to me, I was a little half-hearted on the whole thing. And I think the Oilers organization is probably going to stick with their guy. And I'm not going to say that's the wrong move. I'm not going to say that, oh my God, how do you stick with that coach? I won't say that.
Yeah.
I don't think that coaching was their issue last season, but that's a discussion for another day. But no, Jay, to your question, I don't think that if you do feel like you need a new coach, I do not feel like a short training camp is going to dissuade you from changing your coaching staff. Do you think that?
No, not really, but it is. I have to consider everything. And I would be looking at as many different things as needed. It was
going to hurt rookies. Isn't it going to hurt rookies?
Well, I've always argued about this, Spec. There's realistically 2, at the most 3 players who, like, on competitive teams. Now, younger teams, those guys, the rookies can play all 4 preseason games and probably will, right? Which is fine. Like 4 preseason games. Some guys used to get into 5 in Edmonton, but Edmonton wasn't the norm. Lots of teams only played 6 preseason games, right? Yep. So, most rookies playing 4 or 5 games. I'm not sure that's going to change that much. Any of the rookies who are realistic, right? Like guys who are down the pecking order, like, unfortunately, they might not get into a preseason game, or maybe they'll get one. And, that's unfortunate, but it's a tough business. You'll still have all year in the minors to showcase that you can play. Right, like one preseason game against about a bunch of other young players and non-NHLers. I'm not sure that ever carried as much weight as some people like to say it did. But like, I look at Edmonton, deep team. They'll come into training camp next year. There might be like the 7th defenseman job and 12th, 13th forward jobs up for grabs, realistically.
Yeah, right. But like, I guess my point would be, if I'm a young guy trying to challenge Spencer Stastny for that job, and I only get in, 6 periods of hockey tops, in a less organized AHL, half an AHL lineup, my coach is probably going to go, well, I really didn't learn enough to replace the guy I had last year. It's going to favor the guy he had last year over the guy that's coming in this year. I got to think that, but I guess that's just the business. 84 games in the regular season now, only 4 preseason games. You won't catch me complaining about less preseason. I'm not sure we need to, I don't, like, 82 wasn't enough. Oh my God. Now we need 84. That seems like a lot.
Yeah. The 84, well, to me, I don't know if it matters that 2 extra games, when you play fewer preseason games, it should mean less total minutes for your top players. I'll say that, Spec. But I will say, there was a rumor on the weekend. David Noda mentioned that the Oilers are looking for a speedy winger to play with McDavid. I'm sorry. I'm not sure I could list 10 things that would be lower on the list of importance for the Edmonton Oilers than a speedy winger with Connor McDavid. Why does he need a speedy winger? I don't even understand that. And first of all, he has Zach Hyman, who's pretty fast, and he had Matt Savoy if they need him, or Pod Colson, who can skate, or Howard, who's a pretty fast guy. Like, like the last thing this team needs to look at in the offseason is, we need another top 6 winger. Like, I don't think, if you need a top 6 winger, you need a big, hulking, pounding top 6 winger.
Well, I guess I'd say to you, the only top 6 spot, I mean, here's your top line. It's McDavid with Hyman and Savoy, right? Savoy found a spot on that line. He starts your season there next year. Who would say he doesn't? He is a speedy winger that can skate with McDavid. So I totally agree with you. That's kind of that take makes no sense to me. I guess if we considered, let's say you got Draisaitl and Podkolzin, left winger, and on the right side, for most of the year, it was either Kapanen or Roslovic. So do you need a top 6 winger to play with Draisaitl? Okay. Yeah, maybe you do. Maybe you're not going to sign Kapanen or Roslovic. So maybe you do have to go out and find a guy. Sure. But the top 6 winger to play with McDavid, I mean, the season starts next year. I'd bet you a cold beer right this second on opening night. Hyman's on the right side of McDavid and Savoy's on the left. Why would you change that?
Yeah, that's definitely something to look at, right? You got Podkolzin, you got Kapanen, and Howard maybe. We'll see potentially what happens.
Let's see. Howard's got to prove himself to be a top 6 player. Podkolzin's a top 6 player, at least with Draisaitl. And there's that spot on the right side. And are you going to sign Kapanen, Jay, do you think? Are you going to sign Roslovic? If you don't sign either, I guess you got to go find a right winger for Draisaitl, don't you?
Yeah, I think Kapanen's a guy they'd like to re-sign because I just don't think he's going to deserve, I don't think he's going to command a huge amount of money. I could be wrong. I'm not sure he will. So we'll see where it goes. Kapanen would be on my list, Spec, because he's big, strong guy, and he's not going to cost you a lot of money. I think the chance to get Kapanen on a contract that gives you good value is very good. So that's why I'd sign him.
Yeah, maybe he's still at the point where he'd sign shorter term. I'm not sure, but the only thing I worry about him is someone watching him play last year and saying, yeah, his numbers aren't great because he was hurt a lot, but when he played, boy, was he good. When he played last year, he was a really good player for the Oilers. So yes, you should try to sign him, but I'm not completely convinced if he's got a good agent, and I don't know off the top of my head who it is. If I'm his agent, I'm shopping hard on Kapanen and telling guys, look, don't just look at his numbers because he didn't play enough games. Look at how he played when he played, because he was an excellent player, one of the Oilers' best players in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, hey, he was outstanding. There's no question about that. Spec, we were talking earlier about the Blue Jays, and I know you played baseball lots. At what point does it become a concern? Vladdy Guerrero's on pace for 8 home runs. Right? Like I saw, stats. Oh, look at the Jays. They're they got the lowest strikeout rate. Who cares? They're 5th in runs scored. Who gives a bleep about low? Yeah, so they don't strike out. They're a singles team outside of Okamoto right now.
Right. Well, I mean, that's great that you don't strike out. It's great you're scoring runs when your big guy isn't producing. Your big guy's not hitting home runs, and you're still 5th in the league in runs. That is, frankly, a really good sign. I would question why Guerrero starts slow all the time. He's traditionally a slow starter. We've had this conversation, haven't we, Jay? Isn't he always 40 games in? Isn't he always having a brutal start?
Yeah.
I don't know what he does all winter, but he should be looking at what he does all winter because it ain't working. So, and does he come around? Yeah, he comes around. When it counted last year in the playoffs and down a stretch run, right? Vladdy was money. I mean, he was money. He was hitting long balls. He was knocking balls off the wall. He was a number 4 power hitter, the guy you pay. But I kind of want that guy for more of the 162 here. I don't want him for just the last 80. I need 120, at least 130 out of this guy, because he kind of checks in sometime around July, doesn't he?
Well, hopefully, but it doesn't always guarantee that will happen. It's amazing to me when I watch him and you see his plays. It's just there's very little threat for him to ever hit the ball deep right now.
Yeah, he's got no swing, for sure. He's battling like crazy. And again, we're not questioning if he can be an effective long ball hitter. We know that he can, right? Let's face it, the guy hits lots of home runs. He's an effective, and big moment guy when the moment was big last season and in past seasons. He's been there. The pressure doesn't get to him. He produces. But again, I want a more professional guy here. I want a guy that shows up for the whole season. His swing, I was watching him 2 games ago, swing looked awful. And you're right. It didn't look anything like it was, it didn't look like he was going to knock one out of the park at all. So I'm just saying I want more out of the guy. I'm paying him, he signed the giant contract there, and I need him for 140 games, not 100. So that's Toronto's problem right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big problem, no question. It's funny, like even Shohei Ohtani isn't hitting, Vladdy Guerrero isn't hitting, Tatis Jr. isn't hitting. Okamoto has more home runs combined than those three guys.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a fun little stat of the day for you, buddy.
That's long season.
Yeah, but it's a quarter of the season now.
I know, like it's just a long season. I don't know what to tell you. Hockey's a long season. I sure watched the Oilers grind through last year, and there were some guys you talked to at a morning skate, and they didn't look like they were excited about a game that night. And now we're going 84 games, and I don't know what to tell you. There's just we're in the end, athletes, no matter what we pay them, Jason, they're still human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to wonder in some fronts, football's got her down, man. They play once a week, and they've always played once a week, and they haven't changed that. But hockey and baseball and basketball is just more. And is there not got to be a breaking point at some point here, Jay? Can you just do it forever?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's probably a concern. Yes. I don't know how you fix it, to be honest. Well, I do, but I don't think the money's like the players are going to get. Now, here's the interesting thing. The two games go up, but I know the salary cap goes up, but guys under contract, they don't make any more money. So, right. So it's not like you're getting paid. You're getting paid the same to do two more regular season games. I know some listeners are like, oh yeah, who cares? Well, okay, I get it, but there is a physical toll. I will say, Spec, it's become smarter for organizations. Less is more for your top guys. That's all. It'll be 30 seconds a game. It's all going to add up over the course of the year, and that'll be something. Whoever's the head coach at the Edmonton Oilers, I assume it's Chris Knobloch, that Connor McDavid should not be a 23-minute a night player next year. That is the number one change I would make.
Well, I'll tell you that I would sure rather see Connor McDavid for 21 and a half minutes a night than get into load management. In baseball, you'll go to the park some days and Vladdy ain't playing. He's had a day off and he's not hurt. He's got a day off. Basketball's out of control with its load management, right? Sometimes there's 2-3 guys sitting out. We haven't adopted that in hockey, but it clearly, as we're looking at the conversation you and me are having right now about the overtaxed athlete, and there's two solutions: play them every night, but play them less, or start giving them nights off. And the minute I go to the minute I live in some other city and I buy tickets to see the Oilers, and the Oilers wheel into town, and McDavid's healthy but he's not playing, I'm sour, man.
Yeah, like late in the year, that's going to happen. And sorry, I get why teams do it in game 83 and game 84. I get it.
Sure.
But yes, in game 25, yes, it's totally valid point.
Yep.
Back. Have a good one. We'll talk a little CFL with you tomorrow. Have a good day.
Hey, sounds great, Jay.
It's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear,
If you were
they
a
service
teenage-
and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit
1440.
actionelectrical.net.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999. The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Take up to 60% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $3.99. and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's 10 sale. See in store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Hot coffee, hotter takes, and the sports stories that matter. Check out Kevin Carrion's weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5 plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability vary. Prices exclude delivery.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:29. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. We got a lot of texts coming in. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Or you can text us. Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. And Toronto Blue Jays. Man, first innings have not been good for the Jays. They gave up 3. Today it's Gosman, who doesn't give up many runs, never mind 3 in the opening inning. And not a good start for the Jays. And they're up against the red-hot Tampa Bay Rays. So will be funny to see how they go. Let's get to some texts more around some other news. And now this is a pretty big story if you're a WHL fan, that Daxon Rudolph has been suspended for 1 game for cross-checking late in that Game 2 loss for the Raiders. Now he is out for Game 3. So that is a huge blow for the Raiders. And Game 1 goes tomorrow. They'll play Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday in Prince Albert. And then if there's a Game 6 necessary, that'll be back in Everett on Sunday, and Game 7 would be Monday. So kind of interesting that they're going to give the extra day off. So they had an extra day off between Game 2 and 3. So they had Sunday, Monday off. Now they'll play Tuesday, Wednesday. Then they have a day off. Then they'll play Friday. Then a day off Sunday, Monday. So I don't mind that. A little extra rest for the WHL teams, but that is a huge blow for the Raiders. And I'm telling you, for hockey fans, you might want to check that out. I know the Oilers don't have a first-round pick, but that Jackson Rudolph kid, he is and he's a really good player, man. Really good player. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to some texts. Gregor, might not be overlooked, but the big news for all the people who split their season seats, no more odd number of home games from Brad. Well, that's true. I guess everybody gets 21 each. What did you do in the past? It would be like, okay, I get 21 this year and you get 20. And then the next year I get 20 and you get 21. Is that how you'd split it? Or would whoever had 21, would the other person get the first playoff game? No idea. But yeah, I guess they will do it. Hey, Gregor, will Kapanen take less than Frederick? Bowman set the standard from Darren. Darren, it's not how it works, my man. You can't, as an agent, always look and say, okay, this player who got grossly overpaid, that's the comparison. It doesn't work that way in arbitration. It's not going to work that way. Right? Trent Frederick, hey, good for him. He got an 8-year deal. Now, this is the last year up until September 15th that you can sign 8-year deals for your own players. And I'm curious how many players on teams are going to get it. I get why they're going to try to get them. But if you're an NHL team, like, unless you got a real top-end guy, why the hell would you do it? Historically, they've been proven to not be great contracts for UFAs. Now, if you have a Connor Bedard, that's a different conversation. Young players, young guys like that, who you think are going to be top players, usually those contracts, they age pretty well. Right? Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid. We go down the list. They age pretty well. So I would think Connor Bedard probably going to get it a decent contract. Same as Macklin Celebrini, because both of them are up, right? Because the Blackhawks, Bedard, and I know there's some people talking about, hey, do you think Bedard's going to get an offer sheet because he hasn't signed an extension yet? Because he technically would be eligible. Celebrini has another year left on his deal, so he's not. But somebody get an offer sheet, Mr. Bedard? I don't think so. It would take a huge amount, right? Number one, and number two, the Blackhawks, they've got a lot of good pieces. Honestly, you look at their defense core: Vlasic, Kaiser, Levshinov, Rinzel, Korchinski, Krejci. Like, they got a lot of good players. Now, they can move some of them to try to get some veterans up front, right? I think they quite like some of the young guys they got and got coming. So I think he'll stay there. I could be wrong, but I would think he'll stay there. And Celebrini, he's going to get 8 years probably for sure, because, or he could wait like 8 or 7. Like, if you're Celebrini, would you sign? Remember Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, Austin Matthews, these guys all signed for 5. I've argued it's better. I've made the argument for a long time, and I got all the data and numbers to back it up, that 5-year deals would actually be better for the players. I know fans, you get a little nervous because you're thinking, geez, guy might leave earlier. I understand that. But from a business standpoint, on both sides, it works out better. It just does. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, we had a charity game where we donated 1 game to charity or a silent auction from Brad. That would make it 20 and 20. Oh, I like that. Hey, Gregor, cap hasn't worked out very well on other teams, so luck to fit in Edmonton. It shouldn't be too high. Are you talking Freddie Anderson? Well, Freddie Anderson, this will be a fascinating situation for Carolina. Now, they have long ways to go. But even if they make it to the Cup, which they've never done, like in this generation. Obviously, they went to the Cup final in 2006 and won. They had lost in the Cup final in 2002. So, yes, they've been there. But this rendition of the Hurricanes has not been to the Cup final. They were hoping to get there. They always thought they were close. They couldn't get there. They really couldn't beat Atlantic Division teams at the end of the day. That's what's killed them. So maybe this is the year. And then you get to the Cup final, and who knows what happens. They're either going to play Colorado Mini, Vegas, or Anaheim. Right? A lot of people think it might be Colorado Mini, but I wouldn't automatically discount the Pacific Division team just yet. We'll see what happens. But let's say Carolina wins. Freddie Andersen is currently 36 years of age. And I got to look up when. I'm just double checking. Does he turn 37? When's his birthday? He turns 37 in October. So he'll be 37. Guy's played a lot of years. And injuries in a lot of the seasons have been an issue. So if you're the Carolina Hurricanes, win or lose, do you look and say, we got Kochetkov, we got Bussey, we're going to move on from Freddie Andersen? And then if a team signs him as a free agent, there's no chance I'd give him more than 2 years. I'm not even sure how much money I'd give him because just of his injuries and how many games he's played. Like, he played 35 games in the regular season this year, 22 last year, 16 the year before that, 34 the year before that, 52 in 2022, and then 24. Like, what are we talking about? Look at his last 6 seasons. One time he played more than 36 games. Once. Like, how much would you want to sign him to be your starter? Honestly. So I actually don't even think it's that hard of a conversation. If it's me, I got the other 2 guys signed. They're cheap. Unless I'm going to carry 3 goalies, which would make a lot of sense. I'm going to be, and I wonder, like, if Freddie Andersen wins a cup, does he just say, okay, I'm out? Probably not. Because if he wins a cup, somebody's going to pay him to say, hey, look, he stayed healthy this year. You know a team's going to do it. I wouldn't want your team to do it. Whichever team you cheer for. Guy, when you're that injury prone, I wouldn't want to pay $4 or $5 million for a guy just because he won a cup at age 36. I would be very, very leery to move off from it. Gregor, realistically, you think Trent Frederick can rebound, or is he going to be a dud of duds? Well, for him to get good value, if he scores 15 goals and 30 points in his physical, I think the contract's okay. Now, I think he's going to do that for 7 years. Probably not. I always said the term would be awful. Like, if he had signed a 4-year deal and you said, okay, he's got 3 years left, can he give us 3 okay seasons? You might think, man, it's possible. But it all depend on how much work Freddie puts in the offseason. He's got to get a little quicker, right? Work on his hands and just work on a mindset. And then the other thing is, he's got to play, I would think, 12 to 13 minutes a night. You figure it out. Now, Chris Knobloch did say at the end of the season, Trent Frederick on the penalty kill. Now, just because you say it doesn't mean he's going to be good at it. But clearly that's an option. That's a way to get him more engaged. Give him a role. This is my role. Did you guys watch the Anaheim game last night? Did you see the 4th line? VL, Ross Johnson, like physical, heavy guys, tough guys. They're on the ice late in a close 1 goal. It was a 2-goal game at the time. And they're on the ice. Not scared. Empowering your players. You got to do it sometimes. As a coach, you can't just say, well, I got these guys, but none of them can play when we got a 1-goal lead. They all played at other levels in their life for the 1-goal lead. So at some point, you got to try. Now, you don't want to do it all the time, and it's not even Steven, line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, all the way down the stretch. But if they get 1 in the last 5 minutes, okay, maybe. It's all right. And I'm telling you, though, that's a big thing for those players. No question. Quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Cam Tate joins us next.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos. For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. Hire Good provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Experience the home ice advantage with your window coverings. Novo Blinds provides factory direct pricing and fast turnaround on roller, zebra, blackout, drapery, and motorized blinds. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3, saving you more money with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. Mortgagestogo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, good to go.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the 2 best names in the boots business.
Millions and millions of Canadians do not have a doctor. We have a crisis. Canada's Medical Clinic is opening clinics across Canada to allow everyone to have a doctor to call their own. Early detection saves lives. We've got some great news. You can call now and book an appointment with your new doctor. Canada'sMedicalClinic.com. And more good news. Canada's Medical Clinic Windermere is also now a walk-in clinic. We'll see you there.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks, Monday to OTR, and that means drink specials, $3 hot dogs from 5 p.m. to close, and bingo tunes starting at 8. Head to Jasper Ave 118th or online at ontherocksyeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.546, welcome back. Wrap up. Oh, a terrible start for the Jays. But hey, you know what? Maybe you can listen to the comeback on your way home right after our show. We got Jays live on Sports 1440. But hey, good news. They're not striking out. They got the best, they got the lowest strikeout rate in the majors. Awesome. Can't hit with power, but they don't strike out. That's wonderful. Let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at Legacy Heating. PWHL.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Cam, of course, born with cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair. Never let him slow him down for 45 years in covering sports. And now through the wonders of technology, Cam's a regular on our show with the 2-minute warning.
If you were a teenager in the 1970s with an eye on junior hockey in Western Canada, you might remember the name Ernie McLean, or you might better know him as Punch McLean. And to suggest he wasn't a character is to suggest Donald Trump is a Harvard scholar. His birth formed that tough character back in Estevan. McLean was born in a coal mine because his parents' house was just too cold. That was in 1932. He gravitated to hockey and earned a New York Rangers training camp invitation at age 17. In the mid-1960s, McLean became coach and co-owner of the Estevan Bruins. In 1971, McLean was involved in a plane crash on the way to Yorkton and lost his left eye. The same year, he moved the team to New Westminster, where he coached the Bruins for 14 seasons. There was an Edmonton connection to the Bruins. McLean asked his friend, Peter Laxton, to be the team's Alberta scout. The Bruins were very successful in the mid-1970s, winning several championships. McLean? He was a rough, tough coach, but very colorful. Like the game in Saskatoon, 1976, he saw a linesman by the Bruins bench, put his arm out, and stripped the linesman of his toupee off his head. We're also told he was called Punch because, yes, he punched a referee when he skated by the bench. And boy, was he tough. McLean went missing for 4 days and 5 nights without food or supplies after getting lost while prospecting for gold in 2009. It's important we remember Ernie McLean today. He died when his vehicle went off the Stuart Cassiar Highway near Dease Lake, British Columbia on Friday. He was 93. 2-minute warning, Gregor, Halley, Kruger. This is Cam Tate, Sports 1440.
Era, man, it was a different era, not good to say the least, for sure. So there you go. Rest in peace for one of the bigger characters to ever grace the hockey world many moons ago. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. A few other stories in the sporting world that we didn't really get to today. That Con's bringing up the Giannis trade. Like, that's a big name. There's not, there's no one. It's funny. Like, the one thing the NBA does better than the NHL is they trade their big star players, right? They just do. Now, I wonder what's going to change now with how they're doing the bottom teams in the NBA draft won't get the first pick basically anymore. It's kind of I actually think it's a dumb strategy, to be honest. Like, sometimes you're just going to be bad. You can't expect all teams to be competitive. I think it's the most disingenuous strategy by their commissioner to actually believe that all the teams, there are not enough good players, Connor Halley. Just like in the NHL, there's not 32 number one centers, not 32 number two centers, definitely not 32 number one defensemen, and there ain't 31 number one goalies. So certain teams are going to have an advantage. And you don't just get, well, this team's going to have, we're going to split it out so everybody gets number ones, whether it's a goaltender, whether it's a defenseman, whether it's a forward. Like, no. It's not really how it goes. So, like, look in the NFL, Cons. Imagine, like, if you don't have a starting quarterback, it's hard to win in the NFL. It just is. So, would there even be 16 like legit number one starting quarterbacks in your mind in the NFL? Maybe 20, maybe.
Now, when you say legit, like that can win you a Super Bowl, can win you a playoff game,
that can get you to the playoffs.
Yeah, I would probably say so. Like, there's some that are just going to be not good enough. Tua Tagovailoa is that guy for me all the time. Like, okay, he can put up good numbers and enough stats to get paid, But is he going to go into a cold weather environment and go toe-to-toe with Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, those types of guys? I put Drake May in that category now. We'll give him a little bit of flowers here. No, I don't think there is, the bottom 10 teams, their quarterbacks typically are going to be struggling and just not that good.
Yeah. So if you ever put that NBA rule in place, like, how do you expect those teams to get any better? They're just going to, like, if you're a fan of a team now that's bad, how do you ever think your team's going to get better? Right? Like the Wizards just won the NBA draft lottery. They had the worst record in the NBA. Well, that wouldn't happen next year. So now maybe you got to hope that, these other teams are all going to miss and we're going to land a Steph Curry later on. It is possible. But it's historically, that's how teams get a little bit better. And I know you can, Gregor, they got to make smarter decisions. But if you don't have the players, how can you make smarter decisions? Right? Honestly, I think now, teams will be willing to even trade first rounders more. And we've seen that the NBA, they trade first rounders like it's nothing. Because the truth of the matter, like a first round pick in the NBA is like, I would argue even that the last 10 picks of the first round in the NBA are equivalent to like third rounders in other leagues. What do you think, Cons? That's how I view it in the NBA. Like your top 10 picks are basically your first round.
Yeah.
And then it's the second round.
I mean, geez, all you have to do is go back and look through the history, right? There's not too many drafts we're talking about like, wow, look at the second round or the bottom third of the first round where you're loaded up with these guys who have turned franchises around. You see a little bit more in the NFL where these players are 21, 22, 23 coming to the league. NHL, you still have time to develop, but not quite as much in the association.
Yeah, it's wild. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, have yourself a wonderful Monday evening. Enjoy the games tonight. Hey, the Jays, they're back in it, baby. You can tune in right here on Sports 1440 after Connor Halley. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. For professional property services you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives. HireGood.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Just the one game tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. You got the Wild and Avs from Minneapolis. Puck drop in about 10 minutes time. Colorado leading that series 2-1 on the hard court. Pistons, Cavs getting going in about